Hello everyone, good morning. Yes, I have a friend here with Chris today. Where are you from?
Sweden.
Sweden. Okay, so friends of us is also from there. So we will walk to the Peak today, and we will have a short walk on the Peak side and see what we're going to have today. It's sunny today. I was expect it's raining for the whole week, but luckily we got a good weather, so let's do it. Okay.
Yep.
And doing this is not most likely people in Hong Kong would like to doing like the feeling like what I'm doing.
Yeah.
You see the people looking at me.
Yeah.
They looking, oh, who are you?
Yeah.
Right.
They might think you're a tourist or something like that.
Well, I just pretend I'm the tourist.
Yeah. Okay. That's
I
good
have
thing.
to adjust.
Yeah.
So where have you been so far for the past 5 days, 6 days?
We have walked a lot.
Right.
One day we have 28,000 steps.
We've been walking a lot, you know. We have this kind of pedometer on the activity was. So we've been walking and walking. We've been to the Hong Island.
Okay.
We've been walking a lot there.
But you went to Dragon Backs
yesterday we were walking there.
Yeah, you have to Ocean Park.
Yeah.
And where else?
And we've been going on the tram line, of course. We've been going on the tram.
Right.
And then we've been walking along in the city. We've been watching, of course, the light show in the harbour.
Right.
And then we just been walking, watching houses and buildings, people. Not so much of the touristy stuff, we've just been walking around to see, eating food in these places where we haven't seen anyone from the Western countries at all. So it's been really interesting. And we've been traveling a lot with the MTR.
That's the
Really
major
Yeah.
transportation.
We take the tram to the end point and then we walk there and it was like no tourists, just Hong Kongese
Right.
living there. So
Okay.
very interesting.
And escalators, of course, the long escalator.
Okay, you've been there already.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I made a video for walking along on the escalator system. At the end of the top, I continue to walk to the peak. I made one of those videos before. Yep.
they don't want to walk up to the peak.
No, I know it was closed. Last section was closed now, so you couldn't go by the escalator there. On the last section of the escalator, it was closed now.
Oh,
We were
okay.
there. Yeah.
They're doing maintenance?
Probably yes, because they were working on the side.
Okay. Okay.
Det var så flyttade jag fel ficka. Så.
To Central?
Yep. It's really cheap to use the MTR here in Hong Kong. You know, you can travel really far and it costs you kind of 7 Hong Kong dollars. That's really cheap. Because I'm considering everything else here in Hong Kong is kind of expensive.
Depends on which one.
Yeah, but everywhere we've been paying, you know, in Sweden it's at least, I think, about 30, 35.
Right. If you're talking Tung line and the West Whale line is more expensive.
Okay.
Yep.
It goes further.
Because this is the old system.
Yeah.
So they have maintain a lower price.
Okay.
But for Dong Song Line and the West Wales Line, because it's the new line, so they charge you. Yeah. Okay, we take another one.
Yeah.
No rush. We'll wait for the second one. And MTR is like the major transportation in the Hong Kong, either Kowloon, and the whole area. So that's why people most likely rely on this system more than the bus. So that's why another problem is coming when more tourists from Hong Kong. They are using the same resource we have. So either after the rush hour, now is 11, what time is it? After 10 o'clock, still a lot of people using it. Yep.
MTR is driving the subway in Stockholm.
Exactly.
And the train also.
Yep. Okay.
Buy it from AliExpress.
Okay.
So, but you can buy it in Sweden too now.
Okay, let's.
Please stand back from the train doors.
So you buy a visa card?
What?
Do you have data right now? Do you have data on your
Yes,
phone?
I buy a tourist card.
Oh, okay.
It's very cheap. So take a picture for people here.
Right.
They just write a little about it.
Mm-hmm.
It's very nice. This is the line here.
So this is the ordinary New Yorker?
Yeah. Just interview people.
Right.
It's very interesting because you get to know people. When you come to tourists, you don't talk to people like this. So there's, I like the stories, the background, everything. These is so hard. I have to go to school. The kids, how they look at see life. It's very interesting.
Well, this is a good inspiration for me. I would say this would be a challenge in Hong Kong. I don't know who's they are the behind of this Facebook people. They are generous, or is this just another ordinary people? So anyway, so it doesn't tell who they are behind.
They have a website also.
Right.
Next station, Jordan.
So in terms of I doing interview with the ordinary people, I just making video walking on not just on the street, but also in the mall, in the market place. So this will be keep going for a long time, not just for occasionally, but keep doing this for not daily, not every day, but once for a while. And I try to talk to the people as they willing, but I would guess not everyone would happy to talk with me in front of the camera. Only the talk behind the camera. Yeah. But still,
it's interesting because when you do it on a long time, you feel the city.
请问靠近車門，
all the
請
time.
不要
And nobody remember how it is.
right.
My
So,
mother, she said in Stockholm when we walked there. I remember when there was they built the subway here.
yeah.
So I buy a DVD box with the old movies from before. She was very happy because she can remember how it was when she was young.
Right.
That was interesting.
Well, since I start from this channel, it start from 2009, near 10 years ago.
下一站尖沙咀，乘客可在該站左轉到西鐵線。
Not the people changing, but the outlook of the city. But I would go deeper on, as you say, maybe doing a lot of interview. But this would be another challenge of not being as a journalist, not a reporter, not from the media. So I have talked with KP. You know KP. He suggests me. KP was here in the summertime. He was from US,
Yeah.
but he also is a Chinese. He can speak a little bit in Cantonese, but most likely we talk in English. And anyway, the point is, he just suggests me what okay. He suggests me to have a T-shirt print with my name. And also, I have been telling, why don't you have a business card? So I will have my business card sometime, someday, so that when I see some people, I will just give it the card and introduce who I am. And since I have a T-shirt with my youtube.com/HongKong whatever, they might know who I am. So this will be my next project when that. Yes.
Maybe you can start.
That will be next year.
If you do interviews, you can start.
下一站金鐘，乘客可以轉乘下路線或各人車路線，左邊嘅車門將會有下一站尖中，肯
But the problem is more than is you have to because we speak in Cantonese, I don't think people will speak English with me. So it's another job loading is that I have to translate every single sentence. So that would be, well, only once for a while. I'll be doing that. So you haven't go to this time? Okay, but you start going to be waiting back?
It has been really good weather, but it's
Yes.
really changed a little.
Yesterday when you finished your, I think it's changed to
Yes, it
sunny.
was very windy in the start. A couple of videos not here and just now. And it was cold for us.
Yeah.
But when we come to the big way today,
Well, because we are suffering the climate change, used to be after October, feel a little bit not so cold, but it's cooler than the summertime. But since the climate change, the season is there's no autumn.
it's like same in
Yes, the autumn is pretty short.
But before has been a lot of damage there in the way. Close to the beach,
The
and around the
typhoon.
house,
Yep.
where the toilets
整
and
小心
things
月台
was
空隙，
because it
请
was
小
broken.
心月台。
Because the last typhoon we're suffering is hit Hong Kong a lot. But we luckily, because the typhoon did not make it worse before the petition say
請小心月台
even
空
worse
隙，
than that.
請小心月
These
台的
wind
空隙。
speed can even higher than the last one. So the petition is not likely correctly, but it's good not to correct. Otherwise, we're suffering even major destruction. We destructive even more than that.
I thought I'm going to see a lot of damage, but you don't see so much there in the city. But when you come up there, you saw trees.
Correct.
請勿靠近車門。
So, one more
Please
station.
stand back from the wall. This one is not live. It's recorded.
So you're going to charge?
Yes.
How long does it take to make this after you've been doing it for a day? Must take you hours to make the thing that you put on.
Right. We go upstairs this
Okay.
way.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of,
Yep.
yep. Put this way, 1 hour video take me another 1 hour.
Yeah. Because
Or even more than that.
Because you need to watch everything and then you need to decide what's going on and that
Well,
good places.
less likely because I'm so lazy to watch everything back. As long as I know at some place, at some point, I stop there, so I just put together
Okay.
at that point. Or I really concerned is the music. When I hear some pop music,
Yeah.
I would have to, make it doing something on that. Otherwise, the YouTube
Yeah.
will be not.
In case they will, they will
Yeah.
take away your movie because
Yes.
you don't have the right.
Yes, I don't have,
music.
and then afterward I have no money for that. Yeah. So this is a much of work doing this. If I doing in the area that with a lot of music playing around, that will be a big issue.
Yeah.
Other than that, it would be just simple. Even not 1 hour to edit. I just cut the start and the end, and then that's it.
You need to learn.
No
how to,
editing at
you
all.
need to learn how to play something so you can make your own music as well.
Yes, so sometimes in the Ocean Park, remember Ocean Park? They play a lot of music background while you're in the Ocean Park. So what I did is I have to find another music to cover it.
Yeah, because otherwise they will remove it even if you
Yes,
have. Because
yes.
we were reading about it the other day that they even remove a thing from you because you have the background music.
Exactly.
And it's so difficult.
Ocean Park is a good example telling people I had using more than one day.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to DJ this exit here. So go ahead. Yep. Oh, we can take exit here. I can explain to you here also. This Thatcher Square. Have you been here in the central area yet?
Yes, we
Yes,
walk.
we've been here. Yeah.
We walk.
Okay, we start from here. Yep. I was thinking to skip this area first, but anyway. So have you been this area yet?
Yeah, they were here
We were
Sunday.
here on the walking tour. We went here.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you've been to the Thatcher Square here?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind. We will go that way anyway.
But we were here on Sunday, so there were a lot of these maids sitting here. In
Right,
the park,
right,
everywhere.
right.
They
So
had
we
a
went
free
here.
day Sunday, so
The only day they have a holiday
Yeah.
of the week. Is it a free tourist walk, guy?
Maria knows that. I don't know.
Yeah, it's a Hong Kong free walking tour, and it's really good because they have different. They don't go for the touristy tours. They go for
Right.
the tours explaining about the issues with Hong Kong after 1997
Okay, and
things like that.
That is, is this from the Facebook?
Yeah,
group?
they both have the Facebook and the web page because I always when I go to a new city I go on these free walking tours because I think it's really interesting to learn from
Yep.
the locals what it's like life where you visit the town because otherwise you only see the tourist attraction. So I found it on. I was googling and I found it on, and then they have the Facebook page as well. So it's
And
free.
I think
Yeah.
that is a guy, right? He's
Yeah, there's a guy that
gentleman,
started,
right?
yeah.
Okay. And
started a
I
company.
saw a page on the Facebook
Yeah.
earlier time. It's free.
Yeah,
for-
it's free.
Yes, and
And you can pay afterwards. You can tip them if
Yes.
you think it was good.
and I might to try to contact this
Yeah.
guy later on
Yeah,
and see if he's interested to do this
yeah.
the video for me,
Okay, yeah.
and I do it for him, whatever.
Because I think
So he explained this historic building, right? Okay. But what you don't know is there is a basement here. It's not open for public.
Oh, yeah.
So we are standing above this basement here. He did not know that because I went inside the basement one time.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why.
Yeah,
How I came up.
Explain, yeah.
Yes, and because of the old, they have a heating system.
Yeah.
So they have a boiler underneath. So they do boil water and they supply the whole building with the hot water during the winter.
Ah.
So this is the right above the basement. You don't see is you can see peek inside something here, inside there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Interesting.
Yep. So not everyone is able to get in there, and also they make a small museum telling the history of this place. Of course, this is called the Victoria City. Back to when the British come to Hong Kong, they have to make their city first. So this is one of the place, a small area in the central area. It's called the Victoria City. The city is not only limited in this central area.
啲鏡頭可以對住啲姐姐，
對住邊度啊？
係啊，要喺出邊啊，
哦，即係出邊對到，哦，
出邊就唔可以喺。
都即係出邊可以對到。The lady, the security lady said, "My camera should not point there." I don't know why. surprised that anyway.
But you allowed to walk there or take a move there or what? Take pictures?
Maybe she's aware that I'm making video for some reason. Well, this is a tourist area. What do you expect?
Probably a lot of people take pictures there and make movies and things like that.
Yep. So the court, they have a court here. They have a church over there.
Yeah.
So this is called the Victoria City.
Yeah.
Yep, back to 1840s. 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, we walk that
I wonder
way.
what it looked like 100 years ago here.
Yep. Oh, you can find a lot of pictures.
We went up to the church. It was, I think, St. John.
Yes, it's over
Yeah,
somewhere there.
Yeah,
Yep.
we went up there and looked down, and it was like kind of a different kind of world going up there.
Yep.
Old
Yep.
house, old church, trees.
And that church have to preserve anyway.
Yeah.
Over there. Okay, I see the church there.
They have these. This is the Hong Kong free tours. Oh, Hong Kong free tours.
Right.
They look like this on the log. So
Okay.
then you know.
Had good luck with the weather because it's not raining a lot. Just a little some days.
Right.
For us, this is warm weather.
Well, in the autumn season, supposed to be no raining. Suppose.
Yeah.
But sometimes you got a little bit raining and it's okay, but not raining as much as in the summertime. Okay, we will go this way. Alright, so look at this roadside Peak Tram, direct you this way. So it's a small group of people in the
We
tour.
were actually 23, and she told us that was a really large group. The largest one she had was 25, and usually
okay.
they are around about 10, 15. So,
Okay.
but she had the speaker on, and she was really good.
Yep, I might be look to his Facebook page earlier. He bring a lot of people walking around. Yep.
Yeah, because there are plenty of these walking tours in Hong Kong. There
Yep.
was the pay for, and some different kind of company that have free tours as well. And we tipped them kind of $200 Hong Kong afterwards because we thought it was good.
Yep, because it's airport.
Yeah, exactly. And she was
So we go
working.
this way.
She was working actually in that house with the
Okay.
round window. She was working with human rights there for a
Oh,
living.
okay.
So this is what she did on the weekends when she were off
Okay.
for work.
So he's not working every day.
No, she wasn't working every day. And usually they have the weekday tours. They are kind of like 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Right.
And the weekend at 10 o'clock.
Okay, on the left?
Up.
Yep. I see a lot of people in the tram station.
Oh, is it the queue there?
Yep. Oh. Yep, the church is right here. Where we talking about the church is right there.
Yeah.
Right?
It's different distinctly because here in the city you have all the buildings and the banks and you just need to go 20 minutes with the tram and it's a totally different kind of world.
Yep. Okay, here at the church. I got it wrong.
On the other side.
Oh,
You
right,
came
yeah.
out from the back side.
Sure. Very long queue today.
Don't worry, we have time. Starting from yep, most likely.
Kan man inte åka taxi? Jag har fina bergbanan.
For the Great Wall?
Vad är det?
So here we go.
If you don't buy ticket advance, and then you stand in the queue? No?
I think this is the line for buying tickets.
Okay.
纜車即將開出，下一班車將於8分鐘內到達，請勿站出黃線等候。纜車即將開出，下一班車將於8分鐘內到達，請不要穿越黃線等候。This tram is departing. The next tram will arrive in 8 minutes. Please wait behind the yellow line.
Should I close this for you?
Oh, okay, thank you.
So nobody sees your face.
Thank you.
We did a long one.
Sorry.
¿Tendrán rompecabezas?
I think it's changed a lot from last time we came to this place, right?
I've been here.
It used to be it's free. Now they charge you to go up to the deck.
So,
Yep.
we're going up, down, round.
We can go further up and the ground level.
Yeah.
Alright. So this is something you have to pay
Yeah.
for looking at that statue. No. Used to be when we go all the way up to the deck, it's free.
Okay, but now they
Charge you.
a lot of money to be made there because a lot of people like
Yep.
to go and see.
And
And
it was free, it was not these shops all over.
right. And anyway, we will walk along that way.
And we have tickets to this building.
We will go that way.
Yes, we have
Yep.
tickets to this building today.
Yep. Yep. We can go, yes, go outside now. Yep, wasn't that before? Now they're doing another renovation.
Can you see the view from somewhere here?
Yes, if we walk along on this place,
Yeah. And we come in front of there.
yes,
Okay.
people would skip that way because they want to save time. They go to the upper deck. doing that, but we can walk along on this trail.
Yep.
You can see even more better.
Yep.
Yes.
Of course.
You know, right, Chris?
Oh, he just wants to see the tram.
Oh, okay. But that tram
He's
is the
really-
old one.
Yeah, but he's really interested in trains
Yep.
and trams and machines. That's his thing.
He likes the tram, right?
Yeah, and tram
Mechanic.
and machines and everything like that. Technical stuff he likes.
Yep, good. Good for him.
Yeah. På svenska.
But I think that's
So we will walk along this trail.
And we come back here.
Yep, and back from here.
Okay.
Watch out. So it will be around less than 1 hour.
Oh, it's so
Less
far.
than 1 hour.
I thought it was like.
I don't remember exactly, but depends on how fast you walk.
Okay.
Yep.
We need to take photos and things like that, so we don't need to hurry.
Yep.
No, maybe I come here next year in October.
Yeah.
Hong Kong.
Good.
Because there is a hike. I told you
I
about.
thought you coming for hiking this time.
I was in school,
Yep.
so I couldn't get because it's in October.
Okay. Let me say we will walk down when we're back to Central. We can
go
walk
there.
on this road back downstairs.
Yeah,
I would love that.
Yep.
so there is a company in Sweden called Caine Rd.
Yep. The backpack.
Arctic, yes.
Yep.
I don't know.
And they have these hikings all over the world now.
Right.
They start in Sweden.
I thought you came here last year on that hiking
No, I
event.
couldn't go
Oh, okay.
last year. But maybe next year if I get
Okay.
tickets, because it's very hard to get tickets, just especially to Hong Kong.
Oh,
Because
okay.
it's not so many people who can do it.
Uh-huh.
So
You mean the flight tickets? No, for the event ticket.
for the event ticket for the hiking,
Oh,
because
okay.
you get food, you get water. You only bring your tent and a sleeping bag and
Yep.
a little like that. So
Oh, so they have limit the
yes, in
The
Sweden,
test-
Sweden is big. They have 2,200 people can
Right.
walk, but here it's only 40, 50 or something.
Oh, okay.
So it's the tickets goes very quick. It's like 15 minutes and the tickets is sold out.
Ah, okay.
But I know one people there who is the boss of all these
Yep.
hikers, so maybe I can get from him.
Right. So if we go up to the deck, how much is paid for that? $37, $38, something like that.
50s.
Something like that. Yeah.
And stand there with all the people in the crowd instead of walking here for free.
Exactly.
Du är ändå ovanför alla skyddsvallar. Så
But I think if you're a tourist, sometimes you don't know about these kind of things because you go this way, you follow the crowd, and the crowd goes up there, and you follow, and you don't
Yep.
know.
Because they didn't study well before.
No, exactly. You need to study and you need to check out where can I go for free.
And I would expect some trees are down because of the typhoon.
I saw
And
them
this
on
is
the
a
way
good
up
thing
there.
to
It's
doing
about-
because the trees going too higher, we're less likely to see the harbor.
Yeah.
So I like the typhoon because they make the trees gone.
Yeah, it's really good.
So this is the nature force.
Yeah.
Yeah. In which part of Hong Kong do you live?
Very far away into the new territories.
Okay.
Yep. I will show you on the Google map later. So this tree is collapsed, apparently.
It's still alive.
I don't see it's live, but only the green stuff, the algae stuff. No, that's it. You will see a better view.
surprise you, or do you think, oh, this is all the skyscrapers? Oh, I've seen that a million times before. Or do you still feel like, wow?
Well, I would prefer saying I would do a hiking around somewhere.
Okay, in the forest somewhere, in the woods somewhere.
Instead of walking on this trail.
Yeah. The house I live in is 7 floors. Yeah, and I live on the 4th floor. And first week I was so scared of getting out on the balcony because I
Right.
thought it was so high up. And I was so scared because I'm scared of heights. And it's 7. The floor is totally 7 floors. The whole building.
Now you in Mong Kok, you even scared, right?
Yeah, it was like on the balcony. It's like, but it's so high that you hardly can't believe it. So
Right.
I don't get really scared because my brain can't really believe that I'm so high up.
Oh, this is most likely is man planned.
Okay, so it wasn't here naturally from the beginning.
Yes, because when we look at the old picture,
Yeah.
the whole Hong Kong island is most likely a bowl.
Okay. Yeah.
No grass, no trees,
No, nothing.
not at all. I think this most likely is because of the British people came. So they make the forest.
Yes, but it's good because it's no landslides or something.
Yep. And also about the landslide. In order to keep the mountain in shape, the island in shape, there is a under tunnel
Yeah. Oh.
along on the mid-level.
Okay.
Okay.
The reason that they want to keep the underground water stable.
Okay. Yeah.
The geography of Hong Kong would say 60% of the land are in the 60-degree height, deep. So what you see on this, people living on the mid-level, I would say they are crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy because they have to build the building up higher on that 60-degree
Yeah.
deep slope in order to get higher and higher.
Do you have any kind of earthquakes here or something like that?
Luckily, we don't have an earthquake,
Only the
but
typhoons.
only the
Like-
typhoon,
only
the
and only is
disaster.
kind
Yep.
of bad. Because I saw the pictures from the last one you had. It's kind of unbelievable.
Yep. So this plan here is not supposed to be here.
Okay.
I guess, if I'm right, it shouldn't be here until someone planted on this land.
Man kan ju inte gå ner och röja här precis. Då måste man ha så här som man har säkrat sig i kanten. Men man skulle gå med motorsågar va? Med långpladan. Ta bort allting. You have some view. Hål istället för att se paradiset genom hålet så ser man höghusen genom hålet.
Jag tror vi kommer för att jag har varit här.
Och hattarna på sned.
So imagine in 100 years ago, our vegetation, I would say the grass, the trees are shorter.
Yeah. And it was just a hill here.
Yep.
Yeah.
And not so much high buildings.
Oh yes, exactly.
In 100 years, they're gonna look at your movies and say, wow, they only have 118 floors high. Now we have 1,000 floors.
Yeah. Well, if YouTube can continue in the next 100 years.
Or maybe some scientists in the future will find some. Oh, we had this. They used something called YouTube 100 years ago.
Yeah.
And, oh, look at this, and they will sit there and laugh. Oh, look at them. Oh, they were. What kind of clothes they were wearing, and glasses. Now we have this. The searcher that
We have
goes
the memory chip inside
the brain
here.
and things like that. It's
But
not
you-
even 100 years.
But you know what?
from now.
Before I put my video on YouTube, there are several or many different we call the
Yep.
channel page.
Mhm.
You can able to put your video
Yep.
in different names. Besides YouTube,
Yep.
they are all gone already.
Oh. Mm. But it's like that when you have the kind of web albums, you know, you put your photos there
Yep.
and then they kind of gone. All the photos that you saved somewhere, they are gone. Yeah.
Especially if you have a blog,
Yeah.
they are gone.
Yeah.
So that's why I say if YouTube can last next 10 years, my video are in archive.
Yeah.
Den här är den som luktar så starkt.
Jag vet inte, jag har inte känt någonting som luktar så.
Det är inte nu, nu är det ju...
Ja, tänker du på så här jasmin? Ja.
你又唔似嗰啲有時呢啲嘢係咪？係不過即係啲後生係咁噶啦。
Jag tycker det var lite skräcklandskap så här med det här i förgrunden för alla de här. Mm. Det är bra. Most of the trees here we have in flower pots at home and our benches in the window
Right.
because they don't grow outdoors in Sweden because it's too cold. So we have them and they kind of 1 meter high, feet or something like that. We have them in the living room and the kitchen. We have always a large bench in the window and there we keep flower pots. So all the things that you have as trees here, we have as in flower pots at home.
Indoor garden.
Indoor garden, yeah.
But they're small, very small.
Yep.
Really small, yeah.
Just fly around doing troubleshooting, with businesses and
Oh, this is kind of a private building or something.
This guy is rich.
Probably when he has a house like this. And the view,
Of course, it's excellent.
think of waking up in the morning watching all this from
Yep.
your bedroom window like,
But watch out.
oh sorry,
If the sky is clear,
Yeah.
they can see anything.
yeah.
In the foggy or in the springtime, they are not able to see anything.
But I read in the newspaper that the prices for apartments in Hong Kong is going down 15% in a few months.
Yes, but still, the fact is they going up high and then they 50% off. Still high.
But this is the first time in history they
No,
say it's
no.
going down.
No.
那我听他们旅游团的，还有他们有来过的，他们都说，如果我们先到香港，再到澳门，澳门再回到香港的话，就要算2次。对啊，那都让你来这边的。他说厦门的那个是我的朋友，是我们来过去。我们有2个都去了。但是那个谁的。那个是阿玲他们哈，没有立通的外母啊，就是回来他们算好，也就是说是第7天了，然后就进了嘛，就第3个就7天了嘛，然后就算第2次进来，然后都不是
This flat space there, is this the old airport?
Yes,
This one,
the
yeah.
one way.
Yeah.
Now is transformed to a cruise terminal for the ships.
Okay, there.
Yep.
Christian?
That
Okay.
metallic
Yes.
shine things. That is the terminal
Okay.
for the cruise ships.
Yes, but they have one here also with the Star Ferry. This
It's
Christian-
also in Tsim Sha Tsui, but that will be replaced
Okay.
in later time.
Okay.
Yep. But I would not say it will be replaced in the Tsim Sha Tsui ocean terminal because the long history and the inconvenience
Yeah.
port area.
Yeah.
Because Kai Tak, that area is too far away
Yeah.
to the city in Mong Kok or to Tsim Sha Tsui, whatever.
We had a
It's-
plan to
it's
walk
like
from Star
isolated.
Ferry to there.
Right.
But they were closed.
Yep.
All the promenade walking way there was closed
Okay.
for renovation.
Uh-huh.
So
Exactly, because they have a new buildings right next to it.
yeah,
The World Center.
yeah.
Is it called the World Center?
World
something.
Center,
Yeah,
yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
Will be open next year
Okay.
or maybe early next year. Something like that. You are chasing by the bee. Don't worry. He likes you.
Okay. Somebody likes me.
Everybody likes you.
Oh, here's banana tree.
Supposed to be not being here.
No?
Yeah. Why about banana trees on the top of the mountain here, on the peak? Someone maybe eat the banana,
Yeah.
flow away with the seeds. But anyway, Kai Tak area will be a new developed
Yeah.
area in the next 10 years, 20 years.
Very nice. That's why it's so nice to come here, because when it's changing all the time.
Right.
New buildings,
Uh-huh.
new parks, everything.
It never stop.
No. And I like this. It's in the middle of one of the most crowded cities in the world.
Right.
You go here and you have a jungle.
A jungle.
Yeah. Just a few minutes outside the city center, you have
Right.
a jungle.
Yes, because Chris, you like hiking, you can
Yeah.
take the advantage of the convenience of hiking in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
From place to place, you don't have to stay overnight. You can finish by one day, morning walk,
Yeah.
afternoon walk, and back in the evening.
Yeah, and it's close, everything. You don't
Yep.
need to go 4 hours
Yep.
away. You go 1 hour away. You
How
can-
long it took you to the Dragon Backs yesterday?
We went down to the big wave
Yep.
bay, and it took 3 hours, and then we stopped for drinking, for taking photos and things
Right.
like that. So 3 hours.
Okay.
From start of
From
Dragon
the
back
bus.
to the
Bus. From
big
the
wave
bus
bay.
until the
But the bus
big wave.
takes 25 minutes.
Yeah, but from where the bus stopped and,
Yeah.
and down to
Okay.
the bay.
Right. Sat all right.
Yeah.
You walk down all the
Yeah.
way to
Yeah.
the beach?
Yes.
Okay.
We were standing on the
You're
big
not
roof.
taking the bus
No,
to
no,
the beach?
no. We walked,
Oh,
and
okay.
it took an hour to walk
All right.
the last bit.
And
Uh-huh.
then from the beach to the sub MTR station, it takes 25 minutes or something.
But I don't know.
By
I
the
was
minibus.
sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Minibus.
sleeping on the bus. I don't know. I was so tired.
So what time you return back to the city?
Think about 5:30 or something like
Oh, okay. So you spend the whole afternoon.
that. Yeah. We were there 11:28. We were there.
Yep.
So, and then we were back. Yeah, 5:30, I think. And then we fell asleep, all of us at home. Took a nap. We were so tired. Det känns lite i baden när man går idag, så att det sträcker lite grann när jag går. Att de används igår. Ingen träningsvärk ännu, men det kommer ikväll. där blir det alla så här varma städer så ser det alltid ut så här. Nej, men så ser det alltid ut. Det ser ut så här om du åker till
Ja, jag vet att det ser ut så. Jag undrar
kusten i Grekland ser det ut så här. Och sen när man stiger upp på morgonen så är det här. Så det är sällan det här klara blåa. Om det är luftfuktigheten som gör det. Vi har inte det i Stockholm direkt. Vi hade ju lite tid på att skrev och sen så långt. Folk la ut bilder så här. För att det var så grått ute.
So again, you will wonder who's living there.
Yeah.
Well, back to the old days,
Yeah.
the rich,
Yeah.
wealthy British people can able to live on the top of the mountain. The Chinese people can only live in the lower
Yeah.
section.
Yeah,
Yep.
of course. But what about Chinese people with money then? Weren't they
Well, when
by the
time changed,
yeah.
yes, in
But
the
before?
mid-40, after mid-50, they are able to move further up
Yeah.
because of the status. They
Yeah.
are wealthy, they have money, and that's changed
Yeah.
since then. Yep. Only who has the money who can
Yeah, of
live
course.
up to the peak. But nowadays, I would say 50% are the mainlander
Yeah.
who can buy the expensive luxury. It's not million, it's billion,
Yeah,
or having a house on the top.
of course.
Okay, here we got the first. Oh, look. This is, we got to pay off while we're walking here. Here's the first section. You can take the picture. Further, we can second one. So we can stop here for a moment.
Nu kan det ikke blive flottere, vel? Er det ikke rigtigt så?
他们那边是酒楼，那么那个我是讲说高铁嘛。哦。啊，他们这两栋。Okay, this is, I call it a second point, third point there. So after, along this second and the third point, after that, there's no more harbor wheel.
was here, the first year, I think it was 99, 2000. This was not here at all.
Yep.
Nothing here.
So you see how the scale of the man-made land pudding.
And also down here,
Yep.
after this building here, they fill out the land. Last time I was here, there was wooden
Construction.
poles in the ground, and now
Right.
you can walk there.
Mhm.
And so next time I come there, maybe it's a big house there.
So I would expect the other year we can walk along on the harbor front
Yeah.
from there to all the way to Causeway Bay.
Yeah.
Afterward, we are talking about that highway called the East Corridor.
Yeah.
They will make a underneath a walk
Okay.
sidewalk along the bridge underneath.
Oh.
So we will either extend the walk from Causeway Bay to the other side, North Point, either to Tai Kung Sing. Yep. Hopefully one day we can.
But they did
maybe
a
walk that.
tunnel. There's a tunnel under here.
Yes,
Yeah.
from the central area, there's an under tunnel underneath to the harbor front.
Oh.
You,
Yeah.
you won't see it because it's underneath,
Yeah.
and then all the way to the East Corridor.
Yeah.
This
Because-
is to join the west tunnel here.
Yeah.
Western tunnel here. They have to make a room for the traffic from there to all the way there.
Yeah.
Before this tunnel is always got traffic
Yeah.
jams.
Because when we left the Star Ferry,
Uh-huh.
you can see something with the green grass. That
Yep.
must be the tunnel.
Exactly.
entrance for the cars.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
So will be just a bypass under tunnel.
Yes, that's good. They put the traffic down and the people
Well,
up.
this is good, but also the major problem is the government did not control the numbers of cars. Everyone who are afford to buy cars, you can buy a car, 1, 2, 3.
Same in Sweden.
Yes.
And I read that there was one town in Japan. They have, if you have this number on your car,
Yeah.
if it's like 264, you can go Monday, Wednesday, Thursday. So everybody,
Like
rich
Singapore.
man, they
Singapore,
buy.
right?
Yes, they
Yep.
buy 2 cars, so they can go every day.
So like in China, they do the same thing
Yeah.
in the Olympics game
Yeah.
in 2008. They try to make the people drive less.
Yeah.
But the people who are rich enough, they can buy two cars with 2 license plate number.
Yeah.
Right? Odd number and even number, right?
But in Sweden we pay some
Tax.
tax when you go on this road.
Yep.
This time you pay, but we have cameras, so you get the bill home.
Oh, you know what? So ridiculous is the Hong Kong. I think, if I'm wrong, just correct me, people. Hong Kong was the first city to implement for this traffic
Okay.
control.
Oh.
If you're driving on this road, you have to pay.
Yes.
But back to the 1980s, Hong Kong already, people have refused to have this restriction.
Yeah.
Oh, why should I pay for that? And also at that time, the technology is not good enough to make the control. Not nowadays, we have a lot of things to make the control, right?
Yeah.
Octopus is one of the
Yeah.
the technology.
But also in Sweden they have some people, they buy big lamps over the plates.
Yep.
So when they come there, they put on the lamps and the camera can't see anything.
Oh, okay.
So
To just
that's illegal, but
Yep.
the police don't see them. So
But this topic we have talking over a year, whether the traffic control, whether the buying when you drive to Central, you have to pay. You drive in Central, right?
yeah.
Yes. We recently we have some topics about.
No, this, in Sweden it's not central, it's a road around,
Yep.
because the pollution. They say the pollution fee. So this money should go to the trams, subway, like this. But
subsidize the money to some area.
yeah.
All right, so this is the last place to see the harbour front, the harbour view.
Really amazing.
Yes, when we walk along this way, we don't see any more. Okay.
Weiter links daneben ist ja die französische Schule.
One more.
Well, it's getting cloudy again.
A little kind of foggy. It was going to be cloudy during the afternoon. Maybe some rain later today.
Could be.
So we'll see what it's like when we go there. But we have these tickets that you can go there after 6 o'clock in the evening.
Right.
Yeah. So we'll see.
So you buy the tickets already?
Yeah, we bought the tickets.
Oh, okay.
Because we could buy them cheaper if we bought them in
Advance, in
for
advance.
today. Yeah.
Okay.
And tomorrow I think we do some shopping.
How
before we
much
go
for
home.
that? Because I saw the walk-in price is 188.
Yeah, I paid 97 each
wow.
ticket just
Okay.
for going there. No drinks, no beverage, no nothing. Just
Okay.
go there, and if you bought it on internet, it was 97. So it was really cheap. So
Okay.
that's why we bought it. But then you're only allowed there from 6 o'clock in the evening. It's just for the evening shift there. If you want to go during daytime, I think it was 132 if you bought them in advance.
Mm.
Or 188, and there was a glass of wine included.
Oh, okay.
So you could choose what kind of ticket you wanted if you're not a non-Hong Kong residential. So you needed to be a tourist.
Because you're showing your passport.
No, we didn't need actually to show a passport. I just wrote my name.
Oh,
So.
there's my department, the building there. You see the roof there?
Which one? Yeah.
You see on the black building there?
Uh-huh.
They built something new.
Yeah.
The roof.
The rooftop.
Oh, that must be my house.
Yeah. Pretend. Imagine, yes.
Men jag känner sig nästan lite kissnödig.
If I had money, I should buy a department here, somewhere.
You feel you're rich enough.
Yes. I need
We need to win the lottery or something
lottery
like
win.
Yes, a lottery.
And probably that wouldn't be enough anyway, so.
But do you have rental departments here?
You mean
You
the...
can rent for 1 month, 1 month.
Well, yes and no, because people would not just rent for 1 month.
No.
Yes, picking up at least a year.
Yeah.
Yes, but
Right.
you can rent a
You don't need
department.
to buy one. You can rent.
Well, in the Chinese society, people would prefer they have their own apartment. They don't want to rent. Well, the problem now is, if you buy an apartment, you have to pay for 10% of that total amount, right? But that 10% is killing
Yeah, it's a lot
most
of
of
money.
people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jag såg det också. It's nice to have a large pool in the backyard.
Yeah, you imagine this is the mid-level and you got a pool there.
So which part of Hong Kong is the best to live?
The Peak.
Well, again, how rich you are.
Yeah.
But in what area don't you want to live? What area is kind of there is only the kind of
Well, If you are living in a remote area and you have your own car,
Yeah.
fine.
Okay.
Right, doesn't matter. It's far away from.
So if you have
From
your
the
own car,
island.
you can see that you're kind of a more wealthy person.
Yes,
Okay.
as long as you are rich enough to have your own car, no matter where you live in.
Okay. So
You can live in the Dragon Back
Yeah.
in
Okay.
the south part of the island.
Yeah.
It's also considered rich people living there.
Yeah.
But like I talked to another man.
Yep.
He said, I never go to Mong Kok. That's the
True.
area I don't
Yeah.
want to
For
go
them,
to.
this is not the favorite area for them. Just like in Shamshepo as well.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
För att inte riskera. It doesn't matter what kind of car you have as long as you have a car? Or does it need to be a special brand or something like that?
As long as you got enough money to buy a car.
So my small
Well,
Korean...
because we pay 100% tax
okay.
for the car,
Okay.
private car.
So my small Korean car would do good here, even though it's a small Kia
Yes,
from Korea.
but you still have to pay 100% tax for that.
Okay.
So owning a car in Hong Kong is expensive, not because of the price of the car, but also the
Tax for the car.
not the tax alone, but also the fuel,
Oh, the fuel.
the gasoline.
How much is the gasoline? Is it per gallon? I don't know about gallons. How much gallon is in liter?
In liter,
Yeah.
we pay how much for that? $15 per liter.
But it's like in Sweden.
Is it
Yeah.
15? Yeah,
But
something like
it's
that.
kind of the same in Sweden.
Uh-huh.
Really high tax on fuel in Sweden. Oh, this is nice. Open sea here.
Yep. But in the old time, people would consider if you can live to the mid-level, this is your dream house, a dream place to live in. But time to time, people maybe not consider this is the most area to want to live here. They want to go to the south part of the island,
Okay.
or either go to the other side,
Yeah.
Kowloon also. So the buildings over the ICC
Yeah.
where you're going to tonight,
Yeah.
so that's those apartment is not talking about million, it's about billion.
Oh.
oh.
So we're not buying there today.
Yes,
No.
you're not going to buy
No.
today. Yes, I know.
But I have my
But maybe-
card.
Yes.
Det är inte Bussi där, det blir ju 8-kantig fitta säger de varje gång. Ja. 8 är ju 8-kantig och så
Ja.
fitta. Men det är inte så.
Det är svårt med tungan.
Nej. Jag har aldrig hört så mycket fittprat i hela mitt liv.
Well,
Ja. We are now...
if you're living on that apartment and facing towards to Hong Kong Island, you can imagine the picture, all right?
Yeah.
It's different from you looking on the Kowloon
Yeah,
side.
exactly.
Yep. So your question asks me where I'm living. I live after the mountain, after mountain, after mountain. It's very far.
So how many kilometers do you think?
From
the
here,
city? From the city?
from here we're talking about 9 to 10 kilometers.
Oh.
Not too far, but you know.
Are the prices on the living more reasonable there, or is it expensive as
Still
well?
expensive.
Oh.
Yep. It was really cheap consider to the city side.
Yeah, of course, but still expensive.
Yep.
So it takes you an hour to go if you want to go train into the city, or do you go
Yeah.
by bus train?
Usually within 1 hour.
Yeah. Ja, men det är ju som att pendla från Södertälje, Nynäshamn. Ja. Och det är ju ändå inte så, det är inte 9 kilometer dit från stan.
Okay, from now we stop back to the jungle.
nice walk to go around here instead of going with all the people there. The terrace. Vi måste hitta någon toa.
Ja, jag tror det finns någon på väg här framme.
And the air is quite clean here in Hong Kong. It's
Wrong.
not like, isn't it?
You are wrong.
Because it looks so clear. Because if you go to Bangkok, you know it's kind of yellow in the morning from the smog, and here it looks clear anyway.
Well, I would divide by 2 times of the year.
Yeah.
Summertime and the winter time.
Mm-hmm.
From the winter time, we suffering the air from the north, which is now near to the winter.
Yep.
More air from the China, the pollution sources over there
So the pollutions come here
coming in
when
to
you have
Hong
the
Kong
north winds.
during the winter time.
Okay.
So most likely is talking about now, November, December, January, February, March.
And then you have the other winds coming
Yes,
from the other
and
side.
most likely April too. After that, we got the wind direction is opposite from the south to the north.
Yeah.
So it's from there to here.
Do they ever have these kind of warnings that today is there really
Yes.
bad? They have on the
Yes,
radio.
yes.
So, okay.
We got a warning system.
Okay.
Yeah. So luckily this week, so far,
It's been kind of good.
yes, to you it's okay.
Oh, we haven't
yeah.
noticed anything anyway. So. But I was comparing just when you come into Bangkok, when you go there, when you go into the city, because usually I come with the plan in the morning. And
If
it's
you go
all
to
yellow.
Beijing and Shanghai,
Is it
it's
like that?
another world,
Oh.
even worse than in Bangkok,
Oh.
100 times worse.
Beijing is very terrible.
But ironically, is even now is so polluted city in the world, but they would change it right. Few years later, they can change it back to the cleanest area in the world. The reason that they were using the solar plant, the panel,
Yeah. That's a good thing.
the renewable
Yeah.
source
Yeah.
to make electricity, right?
They need actually to do something because there's so many people living there, so you need
Right.
to have these renewable sources because otherwise you can't use coal and things like that. It's
Yep.
a disaster in the long term.
And
Well,
also the solar panel is cheaper for the last 10
Yeah.
years.
really good.
Yes, so some expert doing the calculation
Yeah.
To compare the old-fashioned coals,
Yeah.
burn the coal, make the water hot, steam water to turn the turbine,
Yeah.
generate the electricity. That way is more expensive than
Yeah.
the solar panel alone.
This is a good thing because that's
Yep.
kind of the reason why people start to use kind of other ways to get energy if it's cheaper.
But not everyone knows that the panel itself, if there's this a lifetime for the panel. After the lifetime is over, how they take care of the panel,
So how do you? So
because
you
the
need to-
panel is toxic.
Yeah. So you need to return it to somewhere
Yes.
safe. Yeah.
So that
Like
is
with
another issue, how to manage the old
I never
panel.
heard anything about it actually because
Yep.
you know it's kind of popular in Sweden as well to have the solar panels and everything, but I never heard anything about how to recycle it.
Well, because it's really toxic.
Yeah. Oh.
So if you go to Beijing now or Shanghai in these days, you won't see the clear sky.
Oh no. Okay, that's sad.
No blue sky
No.
or gray sky.
Because I thought about it every day that the air is so clear here. So we've been lucky.
Well, the other reason, if you come here 10 years ago when the factory still in the Delta area, we call this area from Hong Kong to Guangzhou.
Yeah.
This area we call a Delta area. A lot of manufacture.
Yeah.
The factory are located most likely
Close
in
to the
this
water,
place.
yeah.
Yes, and the water land. the pollution is even worse than now. Since most of the factory are gone.
Yeah.
Because of the economy downside or because their government policy, they have to move this factory even going north.
Yeah. So they move the pollution north.
Yes,
instead. Yeah.
they move the pollution even going north.
That's a way to solve the problem.
Yep, they
But-
seems like solve the problem, but this problem won't.
They just move the problem, actually.
Yes.
Yeah. So what about if you go swimming, like we went to the beach, we went swimming, is the water, what about the quality of the water?
In Hong Kong.
Yeah.
You have to go to the government beach, not going to the private beach,
Okay.
because they have people to watch for the
yeah.
water quality. But even in the summertime, I would say okay, not bad. Yep, for the 10 years, they keeping eyes on watching the quality of the beach. Yep. But one of the time the water quality is going bad because of the sewage system is not doing well.
Okay.
Yep. Now in the Hong Kong here, well, we are in the jungle now.
Yeah.
Used to be the sewage is just dumped in the ocean. Used to be.
Yeah.
Now they have a under tunnel
Okay.
all the way 2-3
it's-
miles
so it's
or even
no-
5 miles away to Hong Kong.
No dumping in the
Yep.
water anymore.
But before they dumping the sewage, they will have the treatment. Yep. Either secondary. They have primary, secondary, and tertiary. They are doing no tertiary, I believe it's only the secondary treatment before they dump to the ocean.
Do you talk in Hong Kong here much about environment? Because I think if you go to the market, you have all these kind of plastic stuff.
Yep.
And in Sweden, we kind of try to clean ourselves from plastic, changing all kind of boxes to glass and things like that. Not use so much plastics, because I was to Ocean Park and I was so surprised that people were kind of eating with these
Yep.
plastic
Yep.
gloves. And that would be in Sweden, you don't use plastic like that.
Yep.
We try not to use plastic if we don't need to. We wash instead.
Again, you claim Hong Kong as an international city,
Yeah.
but for this act is very right behind
Okay.
of the most city.
Yeah.
Recently, the government raised the problem again that there will be more tax on the garbage. Everybody have to pay the tax when they dump the garbage.
Yeah.
Household, talking about the household.
Yeah.
Before that, we right now we don't have to pay for the garbage fee.
Okay. No one is.
No
paying.
one to pay for that. So people make the garbage anyway
Yeah.
because they don't have to pay for it. But over 10 years, the government tried to make more and more, but it's all delayed.
Yeah.
The policy always delayed compared to the adjacent country like Taiwan, Japan. Oh, Japan, you never can compare with them. They have a good resource of treat the garbage.
I think Thailand is kind of bad as well, and they use a lot of plastic in Thailand as well.
Yep.
You know, every time you go into 7-Eleven and buy something, you get this plastic bag. And in Sweden, you now need to pay for all the plastic bags. In shops, you need to pay for them. It's not much. It's kind of like $2 Hong Kong for plastic bag. But every time you buy something, they ask, "Do you want to buy a bag?" And that was a new law since the summer, because before that it was up to the shop if they wanted to charge for the bag or not. But now everyone is charging for plastic bag, and a lot of people bring.
We don't have the
bags.
same
Yeah.
implement in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
If you buy, if you go to a grocery, go to supermarket, if you don't have your own bag, you have
need
to pay
to buy,
for 50 cents for the bag, something like that.
That's kind of cheap.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that's good. But I saw, because we had our lunch at Ocean Park, and they had paper straws. I never seen paper straws before, so I thought that was kind of a good thing instead of plastic straws. But still, they had the plastic gloves instead. So.
Well, it's a long way to eliminate all the plastic in the market anyway.
It takes generations as well, you know, because you were taught from your parents to do this, and you will teach your children to do that, and it takes generations to change your behavior.
I think it's most likely is the money drive.
Yeah.
If you have a tax, you have a penalty for not doing well, you have to pay for it. People will become less likely using the plastic. Let's say go to the supermarket, if I don't have the bag, you have to pay for 50 cents. No, now it's raised to $1. You see what's the difference?
Yeah.
Yep.
The same with the recyclable bottles.
Yep.
Because in Sweden, when you buy something in a plastic bottle, you pay for this refund at the same time, and you get the money back when you leave the plastic bottle back. You get back the money that you paid when you bought the drink, the soft drink, if you buy kind of a Coke.
Yep.
And you get kind of 2 crowns maybe for the bottle, and then when you leave it back, you get the crowns back. So
Hong Kong is all delayed.
Yeah.
Or
and that's a kind of good thing, because we recycle a lot of plastic bottles in Sweden just because you get the money back when you return them. So that's a good thing, because people want, and you know, like poor people in Sweden or poor people, they go to all the garbage cans because sometimes people don't care, so they throw the bottles away, and other people find them and leave them and get the money.
Yep.
So instead of a punishment or a tax, we get kind of paid.
Yep.
Or actually we paid for it when we bought it, but we get the money back. So so it's a good thing. Oh, so nice.
Nice tree.
Yeah,
Yep.
take a photo of that.
Yep. But being take a picture, you have to make a comparison. You have to make a comparison so that the people know how big of this tree. So you have to picture me, compare with this.
Yeah, so you know how large it is. Yeah. So it is the
Right.
something like
Yeah, take from this side because it's
India rubber tree.
Just elastica.
Jubilee.
Normal people, you know, ordinary people, do they kind of cook dinner when they come home, or do you buy dinner out? Because kitchens are so small here.
What you find is this unit is so small,
Really small. Yeah.
so they have go out for lunch, laundry. Not going out for lunch, dinner, but they will cook at home mostly. But if they are one person, living as a single, I don't bet they will have cooking at home. As a family unit, usually they will cook at home.
Because it's really, really small kitchen.
Yep.
This is started in for 50 years. There must be a landscape from 2 years ago.
I think this is used to be a whole old housing here. Because what I'm seeing is they have a slope here. So it was somebody living up there, like the house here.
And then you have a statue
Yep.
of everything. This is a nice place. I would like to live here.
They
It's
consider,
really nice with the stairs and everything.
but the consideration is you need to know how to.
Really nice. So, if both the men and women work here because they need to do that to survive here,
Yep.
cleaning at home, cooking, is it what about the equality in Hong Kong? But men and women, how do they kind of divide home chores between them? Not at all.
Oh well, in Hong Kong, the men would take part of the household jobs.
Like not cleaning up.
Yes and no.
Okay.
But not majority people in the men's society would able to do the household cleaning. Yes.
But it's not so difficult. You don't need a degree to do the cleaning.
Yep. But I would say people, if they are living as a couples, the men usually they would take their responsibility. Yep.
Do they cook, men?
Yes, most people can cook, even men.
Yep.
Not just for the lady.
Yeah.
In other words, there are many ladies they never cook.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
That's a good thing.
Like mainland China.
Yep. So the construction here is building house. So you see, one day when you come here next time, you will see the new buildings on the peak. Oh, you know what? The peak supposed to refer to the top, right? You see the antenna, that tower.
Yeah.
That's just the peak.
Oh, that's really the peak.
Supposed to be the peak. Yep.
The tourist free.
But we are not able to walk to there.
No.
Yeah, because it's a restricted area.
So here we have all the roads with the cars coming up. So.
Yep.
There was an old house here.
Yep.
But he couldn't pay the bills. So he takes the house.
And only few people, vehicle can allow to drive all the way here. You can imagine.
Nice as well.
There's nobody living here. Maybe we can buy it. Must be some government or something?
I don't know, it's private sector, I believe is. But I can tell is this house is got a long history.
This is unbad, there's no living here.
And fairly dangerous building. It's a dangerous building, this is.
Yep, do not enter. Call police.
Like this.
It's kind of empty.
Is it abandoned? Look like?
But
Looks like
somebody's
abandoned.
working there, so. Can it be due to landslide risk or just low maintenance?
Well, I mean, who's got the maintenance?
Why it's condemned as dangerous?
Oh, okay, they don't want you to get in.
Yeah, but it's because the landslide.
No, it's private. It's private place.
Okay.
Yep, it's private owned.
In what part of Hong Kong does she live, Carrie Lam?
What was that? Was she?
Yeah, the chief executive.
Oh, she is doing bad.
But where is she living? In what area would a person like that live?
She's in the governor house
Okay, she lives there.
in the central area.
But she lives there as well.
Yes.
Okay, so when she gets the job, she gets to live there
Yep.
as well. Okay, I thought she had kind of a nice house here.
No.
We saw there were demonstrations every night
Well,
on the
that
streets.
used to be the governor house. Now is transformed. Not saying a governor house is another name,
Okay.
but still a governor house.
Yeah. Also,
Yep.
they always live there.
Yep. So living here, you have to your transportation out and in every day.
Yeah.
But living up here would be not talking about million, it's another billion.
Yeah. But if you live here, you have a driver. So
Yes.
You don't need to drive your car.
You don't worry how to get to the house or
Yes.
not because you have other kind of problems or no problems, you pay for everything. So we can just dream about it,
Yep.
imagine what it would be like. Yes, out of bamboo. Yeah. We can make some bamboo. Ja. 6093.
6093 och 7000. Alltså det skiljer 900 styck.
Det är ganska mycket. Ja.
Kanske förklara sig av stegringen.
Jag ska tyvärr gå så här. Men alltså, hur mycket kilometer säger det? Ja, men alltså, jag har gått 4,6.
Ska du kunna byta andan?
Oj, oj, så jag får jättemånga steg som jag inte har gått. Det går ju inte. Vad gör folk där nere?
Det är nog ett hus. Eller? En park. Something in here? A lot of people can in the forest.
Well, this is another trail walk back.
Okay.
Det är ganska roligt.
Back on the downhill side.
Som om, jag kommer ihåg när Bixen, han frågade jättemycket om Sverige.
I read this Hong Kong trail is 100 kilometers long.
Where?
The Hong Kong trail, if you go to all the parts, it's 100 kilometers long.
Hong Kong Trail is 50 kilometers.
Only 50?
If I'm right,
Okay.
yes, if I remember right, it's 50, not 100.
Okay.
Yep.
And you can walk it in a day.
Yeah,
No problem.
more than a day.
I can walk it in one day.
Yes,
No
of course, your ability
You
can
know-
walk.
you know,
You're
I-
running, not walking.
I walk this 110 kilometers with a 13 kilos backpack.
Jag tänkte
Ja.
att vi måste...
38 hours.
alltså,
Ja.
I was so tired. And I come to the finish line almost in the middle of the night.
Yep.
And I was walking here and there was forest. I said, oh, there's a man walking with a dog. But when I come there, there was a tree.
Oh, okay.
And two people was standing. There was one tree fall and one tree standing. I thought there was two people talking.
Right.
And they moved because I walking, so I saw them move.
Okay.
Alltså, man tycker ju
Then I said I must go faster because otherwise it's gonna be crazy.
Men vi kanske
So this is the way down to downhill.
Men vi har druckit, vi kanske har druckit lite läsk och sånt där i
vi har picnic
vi
area.
har rört oss. Tycker jag ju som att en sån här vecka borde man ha gått runt 10 kilo, men det känns ju inte på kläderna så då har jag inte det.
So half more hour back to the tram station. So we are just halfway.
Are we halfway now?
Yep.
I was working with some Indian colleagues that just came to Sweden a couple of years ago, and they asked me everything, and I thought, oh my god, I don't know these kind of things because I just know about my ordinary daily life,
Right.
you know, in Sweden. And they asked me about the school system, the health medical system, and
And then
I
you
wa-
do a lot of research.
yeah, I needed
And
to
then
do
you
that.
understand.
Yeah.
Yes,
I-
same questions
yeah.
here.
And it was kind
Yep.
of good for me because I went home and I looked everything up, and we had a really good time working together, trying to learn from each other.
Yep.
Yeah, that was kind of really nice. I like to meet different kind of cultures, to speak to them, try to, because we are more alike than we are not alike.
Right.
People are all kind of the same all over the world. We think kind of alike. In Indian, it was a little bit difficult for me to understand Indian guys because they have these arranged marriages.
Yep.
And I thought that's really difficult to understand. while they thought it was kind of interesting that my daughter, my youngest daughter, she's 26, she was working with us, that I could let her work during the nighttime alone.
Okay.
They couldn't understand that. What kind of mother was I, leaving my daughter to work the night shifts alone without being married or anything? So you learn from different kind of cultures what's important and not important.
What's so special?
No, just the sign.
So which means that we have a kilo to walk.
Morning trail. What's now? In Sweden we don't have these signs for the hiking all over.
The morning trail means the people come here at early morning, they
Yeah.
walk on this, keep walking.
That's good. People need to get out and move a little more.
Yep.
You have sound?
What's that?
Is your phone?
Oh yeah, touch something. You have a good ears.
Yeah.
What's that? Oh, you kick on that.
You're walking in shorts and t-shirt, black trousers, pullover, tie.
Yep, so
shirt.
vehicle coming. Doesn't look like a jogger, right?
No.
Just an office man.
Yeah. Ja, men den här laddar ganska snabbt. 10% har laddat sen nästa tiden. Konstigt. Du som satt den inte skulle.
Nej, men det är nog för att den bryr sig inte om... Den lämnar fortfarande 5 volt, men den kan lämna 2 ampere utan att den behöver ha någon elektronik inblandad.
Ja.
Men om det är en sån där chip som ska kunna tala om att man ska kunna köpa en el 12 år. Då kickar inte den in.
Maria, du ska gå slow här, stod det.
Is this kind of normal November weather?
For the last 20 years, yes.
Yeah. With the climate changes?
Yes, a lot.
Because I saw, yes, tomorrow is going to be kind of 17, 18 degrees. Really
Yeah,
cold.
19, something like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. But still warmer to you.
Yeah, to us it's really warm.
Yep.
Because my son texted me yesterday, we had snow twice, but it melts down when it reached the ground, but we had snow twice. So we're looking forward to come home and put on our trousers and down jackets and things like that.
So in Hong Kong, you have to wait until December. Can consider much cooler. January is in the New Year time would be
Yeah.
is considered winter now. Yep. But we got a short winter after all anyway.
So in December they have these down jackets you can see in the shops.
Yeah.
They're really winter clothes. But it's so strange because when we've been walking on the streets
Yep.
in the evenings, we've been walking like this, but people, they have
the jacket.
Yes, probably think it's cold. And I know, to us, I think the humidity is so high and we are not used to that
Right.
because we have really dry air at home. So
I'm not used to wear my jacket now. It's too hot to me too.
yeah, I still.
Yep.
But you see people in the streets have really a lot of clothes on. Because,
Well, because of the fashion.
yeah, because I wrote it on my blog and there was a lady, she saw that on your pictures people have so much clothes on.
Yep.
Is it cold? And I said, no, it's not cold.
It's too hot though.
Yeah, but this is kind of a good weather for us.
Usually we would consider temperature under 15 degree.
Yeah,
We would consider getting cold.
really cold.
Yeah.
But it depends on what clothes you're wearing and what kind of building you live in, because 15 can be really cold.
Yes, but
And the
the
damp air,
the
maybe?
temperature even here in say 10 degrees is different from 10 degrees in your country.
Yeah, I can think
Yep.
the humidity makes it kind of maybe
Right.
damp and cold.
Yep.
It's inside all your clothes and everything. You feel
So
freezing.
when we suffer like talking about 5 degree or even down 4 degree,
You're almost freezing to death.
yeah, here is considered super cold.
What about the buildings then? If it gets kind of really cold outside, what is it like inside the buildings? Are they cold or?
You have turn on your heater and
Yeah, you have heater.
yes. In the buildings here in Hong Kong, for the past 20 years, the designer or the architecture, they're most likely using a big window. So the big window is good for light,
Yeah, but
right? Daylight,
Yeah.
but it's not good for insulation.
No, of course not. No,
Yep.
because the heat
Except
goes through the
you
window.
are using double glaze. Well, in Hong Kong, it's usually single glaze.
Ah.
So that's why we got a pool insulation for that. So in the winter time nor the summertime, you have turned on your air conditioning, or in the winter time you turn on your heater.
In Sweden,
So it's not environmentally safe, in other words, because on one hand you're using less light,
Yeah.
right? You don't have to turn on your lights at daytime. But during the summer or the winter, you are using a lot of electricity. You are burning fuel.
Nowadays the light is no problem anymore because of the LED technique. So
Yeah, for this weather now it's okay. Yep. If you're going to winter later on, we have to turn on our heater.
yeah.
Yep. Again, the insulation is not good in Hong Kong though.
In Sweden, we have at least 3 window glasses.
Right.
So you know.
I understand
yeah.
that because
And-
you got a cold weather.
Yeah, and we always have a radiator underneath the window.
Yep, yep.
For the cold air coming in is going to be heated. So we
Yep.
always, like when you go to UK, they have the radiators in the room. In
Yep.
Sweden, we always have it underneath the window to not have the cold air from the window coming in. It's getting
Yep.
heated at once.
So this is the design
Yeah.
using the air current in the
exactly.
room. Yep.
Yeah.
And every apartment they have their air condition, window air conditioner, right? So in the modern days, the air conditioning can transform to heater.
Yeah.
Usually they have both functions, right?
I'm a bit surprised that every building does not have a central cooling
Well,
and heating system, because
the
it should
problem is-
save money.
Well, because each flat or each unit is owned by
Yeah.
individual, right? So they don't have, say, agreement with, okay, we have to go to share the central unit. Not like in the hotel or the office building.
So it gets for each and every one, it gets more expensive, but it
Yep.
seems to be cheaper.
But now in Sweden, the people start to buy
Cold.
air conditioner
Why?
because we had so hot summer.
In the summer?
Yes, this
Okay.
summer was
Start to
so
have,
terrible.
Okay. Is it terrible as in Hong Kong?
Almost.
Really?
But only a few weeks or so.
Yeah. But
It's
only a few weeks.
speaking of a month right now. In the past summer, I saw the news. You got a heat wave in the whole Europe.
Yeah. And there was a lot of fires
Right.
in the woods.
Right.
For 2 months it was a fire.
Around
Yes, people come
Europe.
from fire department from Poland and
Oh,
Germany
okay.
come to Sweden to
Okay.
help. And they hire plane from Canada to come and put water on the
Turkey.
fires. So people start to buy
Because
air
summertime is
conditioner.
not raining season, am I right? In Europe?
We don't have this kind of raining or
No, we don't have the seasons.
Okay.
We have
We have 4
Rain or-
seasons.
Right.
We have 4 seasons, but the weather can kind of, you know, but we always have winter in the winter time, but sometimes the winter means that we have
Rain.
1.5
Snow.
meter of snow, and
Right.
some winters we have just rain. So
Right.
we never know actually.
Okay, right.
And during the summer it can be summers that was like this last one, really hot, but it can be around 22 degrees like
Right.
summer, and the spring is
But the humidity is drier than in Hong
it's
Kong.
dry. It's dry.
Right.
We don't have this kind of, I don't know what we have, maybe 45,
I don't know the
50% or
numbers,
something
but-
like that.
Mhm.
Not a lot. So it's really dry air. And the same is in the winter when we have the cold air. It's cold and dry.
Right.
So even though we live in Stockholm, you know, and it's close to the border, we have a little bit of this damp coldness. I come from the north of Sweden, close to the Arctic Circle.
Right.
I was born there, and we have really dry and cold, like minus 30 degrees in the winter.
It is a little waterfall.
Really small one.
We call it Kodak moment.
Yes. Go ahead.
Skillnaden på regnsäsongen och vårsäsongen. Det högsta berget. Nej, det högsta berget på Hong Kong Island, Victoria Peak. Would have been nice to see it during the rainy season when it's a lot of
Oh
water.
yes, there's a big rain waterfall.
Morning train.
200
200
meters.
meters.
Yep.
And
Not
we're
far
done.
away.
Yeah.
så ligger det en korgmöbel där uppe.
Någon vill sitta och vila lite.
Kommer vi tillbaka till verkligheten. Korgmaskinerna.
Tôi記得好似係有個涼亭。
Här finns en planerad vägar. Det har dött.
Like these red ones,
Yeah.
hibiscus. We have them in small like this in the windows, like a
Oh, okay.
We have this
You
one.
have these flowers.
Yes, exactly. But we buy them in the flower shop and we put them in a pot, and they are like this big.
Okay. Now this is a human toe.
Yeah, exactly. And they usually die during the winter because they are supposed to have a little bit colder climate in the winter. And our
Right.
flats get too warm in the winter, so they usually die or they get all the flies on or something like
Right.
that. But this is a small flower at home.
And you know what? When we were kids, we liked this flower because we can take off the flowers and soak
Okay, yeah.
because there's some the bee.
Yeah,
they
the
have
nectar inside.
yes.
Yeah, so it's sweet.
So sweet. Yes,
Yeah.
exactly.
Ja, din ja. Men jag hade en 5 på. Man kan köpa 4. 200 spänn i den natträtten. Han skulle ha... Han skulle filma dagen efter med rönare. Hans hade gått sönder.
So before we go down, we probably need to buy something to drink because we didn't bring any bottles with us. So
Sure.
we can go inside and find something to.
So we have back to this
Yeah. Go inside.
mall. Yes.
Yeah. There was something I saw. Was it kind of a tea shop?
Yep.
Probably?
Yes.
Smells like food.
The restaurant is right here.
Yeah. Ah.
And this restaurant is a long history.
Okay. It looks like the
Can-
house of Switzerland.
Well, if I'm right, it's over 100 years old
Yeah.
of this restaurant here.
It kind of seems to be built by Germans or something like that because this is kind of the German Swiss style build houses.
Could be.
Thank you.
Rồi lấy cái sao?
Oh, actually, no, we do need to pick them up from here.
Vandringen är på samma ställe. Alltså du sa ju...
Ja, den är Mong Kok MTR om det var B eller något sånt där. Ja, men alltså det står, det står där. Så då kan vi ha lite så här.
Jag vill komma dit så måste vi veta vad det är.
Det står det på nätet, så jag tänkte anmäla in mig. Om man anmäler in sig så får man välja mejlen längs där på saker de har pratat om. I guess she was in Hong Kong. Eftersom de grejerna jag vill handla är där på Temple Market som öppnar på kvällen så får vi väl ta det imorgon kväll så de finns grejerna. Det kan ju hända att jag följer med dig på din antikshop. Jag ska inte dit imorgon. Eller är det marknaden kvällen? Det här var just det.
Det blir ju en fall.
Jo men alltså.
Nej, men det är kul.
Men alltså, jag tror att då kanske jag går gatorna fram och tillbaka och tittar lite grann och går för det tar ju aldrig slut att sitta ut och sen ska vi komma ihåg att lämna in ikväll också.
Okay, turn left.
Right.
Yes, right? Your basic instant tell you turn left, right?
Det är som att gå i högklackade skor hela tiden.
Ja, det tror jag.
Ja, man går på tramplinan hela tiden så här. Inte så här någon staket här, bara bergbanan här mitt i allt.
Ja. Nej, det skulle vara det. Jag måste försöka kolla på. Vi ser på något annat.
So people like to make a photo here. Of course, when the tram passing.
Comes, yeah.
Yep.
What would you, what are you thinking Hong Kong looks like in 20 years from now?
Oh, pretty much like a city of China.
Oh, you think it will be more
It's
like
terrible.
China, or do you think China will change in 20 years time?
Well-
Because it changed a lot the last 10 years.
Put this way,
Yeah.
because of this video I'm making right now is try to record
Yeah.
the present. Would be archive in the
Yeah.
future, right? What I expect we see two things would be really happen is not just the people from China move to Hong Kong, but we see the road name, the sign name will be changed
Okay.
to Chinese name,
Yeah.
of course.
Instead
Se-
of the English, of course. Yeah.
Yes, and also is the Britain,
Yeah.
Connolly.
Yeah,
There's no
exactly.
King's Road, no Nathan Road, and so
Yeah.
on. And secondly, I would expect to see the driving from the car drive from the right to left.
Yeah, you need to change that because otherwise it would be a problem, you know, when it's coming.
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
Why I'm
that's
saying
kind of smaller things, but
right.
Yeah, with people then.
Why I'm saying that before the bridge opened between Macau to Hong Kong, I'm skeptical. I'm curious whether it would be happen.
Yeah.
But since it opened, I'm firmly have a evidence that it will be changed quickly because that bridge is driving on the right hand side.
Yeah.
Once to Hong Kong, it's just change.
Yeah. So you need to
But on the
drive
bridge
all the way
is
like this.
drive on the right.
Yeah.
Yep. Right up, left down.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say not until 2046 or 27 or 47.
Yeah.
It would completely change in next 20 years.
But what do you think? Because the Chinese economy changed so much the last 10
Well-
years. So in 20 years, do you still think it's going to be like China anyway? You know,
Okay,
with the control
I
and
would put
everything.
the crucial point or
Yeah.
the turning point is whether this year or next year,
Okay.
when the economy is going bad or good, who knows? But once it's like a lot of people who predict that the China would be have a bad economy end of this year or maybe early next year,
Yeah.
will be a great downside. It would cause a lot of change from
Okay.
China itself.
Yeah.
A lot of people getting poor, even though many people are poor. But for the rich people, they are suffering a money loss,
Yeah.
big money loss. If the economy change in the, say, not the financial area, but also the buildings, I mean the residential area, because they buy the building so price are high,
Yeah.
and suddenly it's dropped
Yeah.
50% or
It
even
caused a lot
more.
of problems there.
Yes.
Yeah. What do you think about the things like, you know, you have the free internet here and you have kind of the freedom of speech here and things like that? What do you think would happen with these kind of things?
Okay, in 2003,
Yeah.
2003, the government of Hong Kong tried to propose a new law called Article 23.
Yeah.
This law is ban the public voice,
Okay.
speech or freedom,
Yeah.
and we turned it down, of
Okay.
course.
Yeah. Yeah, well,
Doing-
of course, you would be stupid otherwise.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So, but they will
But-
try again.
Yeah, it's already try again.
Yeah.
So we have a Christmas song called Article 23 is coming to town.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I read something about A3. It was everywhere. They tried to put the A3. About is that the Article 3? A3.
No, 23. Article 23.
Okay. Okay.
Yep.
But okay.
And
But
if
what-
this imply in Hong
Yeah.
Kong for next 10 years or 20 years, this YouTube will be very useful.
But what do you think about kind of internet? Because you're not allowed with Facebook in China, are you?
They ban Facebook, they ban Twitter,
Yeah.
they ban YouTube,
Yeah.
they ban many social media.
So if you just go across the border, you
Right.
can't get the access to this.
Yes.
So they, none of the Chinese, but when the Chinese come here from mainland, they can go to and look for the YouTube and everything.
So they
Facebook.
try something like, I have a YouTube fan.
Yeah.
Imagine he's from China.
Yeah.
The reason that he can able to watch my video is because they doing something called the VPN
A VPN.
to
access,
access to
Yeah.
the internet outside the world. And
So
he
then
does
they
that.
can reach that.
Right. So he does that, and he's able to not only watch my channel but also a lot of channels about China, politics, and
Because
so
I
on.
think it would be really difficult for the Hong Kongese people to accept that
Yep.
the things that you take for granted now that they would be not allowed in the
Right.
future. That would be really difficult.
Yeah.
Because it's always easier to open up. It's really difficult to close something down and take something away from people.
Well, depends on the China government. How its trip to Hong Kong and how they can sustain a country in the long run.
Yeah.
That's why I'm saying crucial of this year and early next year because if the economy is changed a lot, I think they have to change a lot too.
Okay.
Yep.
So
But
that's what you're waiting for, to see how the economic go.
who knows? Because we have talking about since the last crisis, the financial crisis in 2008.
Yeah.
So 10 years after now, still have talking about this matter, whether they have suffering a big drop of the economy or not. The people raise this question is just like I've raised the same question is, if that happen, how people in China, they can sustain or not. Because in Hong Kong or in other part of the world, we all have experienced the downside of the economy, right? But in China, they never had that happen.
No, they don't know how to do it.
Yes,
And
they
never
deal
got
with it?
used to it either. So that's the problem. When you get used to a thing, you want to continue.
Right. So that's why I'm always kidding is Trump. Is he going to make the China bad?
It's really interesting. It can be a disaster, but it can go. It can be a good fortune for.
Yep.
You never know. China is a large country.
Okay, why we were walking on this road is called the Old Peak Road. Apparently before there's a tram or cable car or other word before that is all rely on this road.
So is there any other public...
So back to 100 years ago, people have to walk on this path. You see the typhoon makes a lot of trees gone, right?
Du tänkte fråga om det fanns några andra sätt att få upp till bussen?
Nej, men ja, även
Nu är det buss.
Ja, det finns några här.
De som bor här bara.
Som vissa svenska. Där bara finns tips någonstans. Filmer har handvagnar som man kör färskar på. Den vägen går ju. Dagar eller veckor med där det är helt igensnöat. Som en vägtrafik till exempel. Men om man omfattar en godstrafik på ena på spåret. Så då har man
De har väl fått upp det. Här är det snöat igen när jag får stanna hemma.
men så att de har ju speciella rot eller snöplogningsvagnar så att man kan köra igenom 3 meter hög snö och snökil. Och så kör de mycket igen också. Så timme eller halvtimmestrafik som punkttabell.
Kanske 445 000.
Det kan mycket väl. Där var det ju alltså att det fanns lite grann så tidigare.
Jo, det finns på det sättet. Här är det på andra vägar.
De har till exempel en relativt ny enväg som är stängd en tunnel. Rakt tunnel genom där. Som de kör biltåg på vanliga tåg. Man kör ombord på ena sidan. Står 10 minuter tunnelfärd och så kör man av bilen och på motorvägen eller på vägen.
Ja, men det är ju vanligt fast de har långa sträckor.
Ja. Ja, men det här är liksom så ungefär som en färg över tunnel. Ja.
So going down is not easy as going up. Is it true or false?
Dina vadmuskler har blivit jätteframgångsrika.
I think it's easier to go up. I think it's easier to go up.
Well, put this way, if we walk this backward, what do you think?
I think this is easier. Up. This
Ja, det stretchar inte.
Right?
Jag kan se mig själv bara titta på huvudet.
My muscle is not that tense.
Jag är glad att vi inte gick i alla fall.
Jag tycker det är lätt att gå upp för det.
Ja, så det är lättare att gå upp när man blir mer andfådd. Men det är ju benen är lättare att gå. För det här trusar man hela tiden. När jag går på vandringar och det är mycket neråt, då kan jag tappa tånaglarna sen på en månad efter jag kommer hem. De jag har såna här vandringskängor som är hårda i tån. Bulle! Helt sjukt så här, men alltså kontrasten mellan han här i djungeln, så vrider man på kameran bara en liten bit åt sidan. Så är det så här. Jag vet att du skickade tidigare, men du får skicka länken till hans YouTube-kanal. Jag har kollat på hans här. Det är jättehäftigt när man träffat. Ja, men jag kollade, för det var något du skickade, var det om mat?
Ja.
Som jag kollade på.
Han har några lite väl om.
Ja. Nu måste jag spola fram. Jag skulle gå på toa och fälla toan där, så kom jag in. Och så var det kvinnan som var före mig. Så öppnade jag och bara, nej! Så jag på svenska så här. Och så backade hon och bara, vilken är klippan? Nej, det var en stor toalett. Så klipp dig. Hon hade tydligen hittat det. Man kan ju ha en vattentoalett som
Det går ju. Det går ju. Killarna som de har ju så här ökat upp i fjällen. Sprang ner till Gage St med 1912. Och sa det är bara en mental spärr att våga öka när vi går så brant.
Ja, men man har ju även en fysisk begränsning.
Men gravitationen ja. Men så länge du ökar tryck ifrån och springer ner så ramlar du.
Nej, men småsnabbt är det ingen springer som man inte får
via svensk kyrkogård.
Do you believe it's saying 30 minutes up to the peak from here?
No, not
Now
up,
they will go up.
not up, down 30 minutes.
Maybe if you connect it to some kind of machine or something.
Yeah.
Or if you really fit.
Behind this new skeleton you can have,
Yeah.
it helps you walk.
Okay, be careful. There's a traffic along this road here. Because we're coming
This
by.
is a nice building,
Yes, if you're living
very
here,
expensive.
super expensive.
But here you only drive one way, yeah?
Yep. A week ago, there was an accident here. A driver.
Oh.
Vad var det där? Vad är det där?
Where's the car? Is it still there?
Oh, you're supposed to remove it already. Is it so deep? Yep. Okay, be careful. This is a traffic road. And this old Peak Road now is occupied by the
Yeah.
buildings around here. And again, who is living here?
Before, when I was married to Kim from
Yep.
China,
Yep.
we talked about change departments with a couple here in Hong Kong.
Right.
They have a department like this, was closed, so you can close community.
Uh-huh.
So you need to go to the gate, and then you have laundry service and shopping and everything they do for you.
You're talking about the mid-level here?
Yeah. And they want to have a house in Europe for like 3 months.
Yep.
And we go here 3 months and we don't pay anything. Just change department.
Yep.
But no, we didn't do it.
So,
It should be my dream. Stay here for 3 months in Hong Kong.
so this is talking about billion, not million.
Yeah. But we look at it, it's just very nice. But they also have childcare service. So if you have kids,
Oh, okay.
you just leave the kids and they take care of them during the day.
Because they charge a management fee every month.
Yeah.
Crazy high.
Yeah. But it's easy. You don't need to laundry, you don't need
Uh-huh.
to buy food because you just give them a list and they buy for you.
It's crazy different, right? Yeah, of course, staircase is much better. super expensive.
It's beautiful.
Right?
For me, it's beautiful.
Beautiful of money.
I think the highest building in Sweden we built this year, I think it's 18 floors.
18 floors.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
We are talking about 58
Yeah. I want to have
or 68.
118.
Yeah.
They're so afraid to build up. They say the skyline is gonna disappear.
Okay, let's see.
I look at this way.
Yep.
Man kommer få det på live när du blir körda med bil.
So we go this way.
Oh,
Oh, we're going
Yep.
upstairs.
Not too up. If we go in this way, it's going to Lan Kwai Fo.
It's not so high. It's only 5.
But you know what? In the old days, when this whole belt, they are able to look at the harbor front.
Yeah.
But now they are not seeing anything from there.
But they're gonna tear
Balcony.
this down and build higher, you think?
Yeah, this will be one day will be demolished
Yeah.
and then build a high building up to like those high buildings. Because this place will be very valuable.
Yeah.
It's so expensive to own the place, the land of here. So I would not say they will keep this for the next 20 years. Because of the maintenance of the old building is not easier as a new building.
Nej, det är inte. Vi har ju varit på platsen i bara eller
Here's the school.
Yep, there's a school here.
You almost forget, you need schools, you need sports halls for the kids, you need swimming pools, like this.
And this school, if I'm correctly, is in the old back time, it was only allowed the British people, their kids, the children, only for the white.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
Is it there up we've been?
Yeah, we were walking above that place. Correct. We were once there.
Yeah. Now we're here.
Yep.
Is it free to go to the schools or does it cost money?
This one is not a public school. This one is most likely the private school, who used to be only allowed the children from the British family.
Okay, yeah.
So most likely like a international school rather than a local public school.
Yeah. But if you want to go to a university or something like that, does it cost money or is it free? Is it kind of some public
No free at
universities?
all. You have to pay
Okay.
for, well, we can loan money from the government,
Yeah.
but
Yeah,
we have to return anyway.
but you need to pay for the school, not for, because in Sweden every school is free.
Right.
But of course, if you go to university or older, you need money to survive,
Uh-huh.
and you can loan money from the state.
Right, so that's in Hong
Yeah.
Kong.
Yeah, but the school doesn't cost anything. the books cost in Sweden. You need to pay for the books, but the school doesn't
You mean the
cost.
secondary school?
No, university. It doesn't cost anything.
Well, it costs a lot.
Yeah, in
Yep.
Sweden nothing. It's free. So
in,
we have many.
in Hong Kong, you pay a lot money for going university anyway.
We have many students coming
Yep.
from different kind of countries. They pay a little bit, but as I understand it, it's really cheap to go to university in Sweden. But for Swedes, we don't pay anything.
Yep.
We have a lot of Chinese.
As long as you are citizens, right?
Yeah, as we're citizen. But we have a lot of foreign students, especially from China. We have,
Right.
so I don't know if it's cheaper to go to university
No, not
in
at all.
Sweden.
Not
or-
at all. So ironically, is people go to abroad. I mean, out of China,
Yeah.
and they are from the mainlander. Only the rich children
Of course,
or
yeah.
the rich family can afford. And who is this family? They are not from the business sector. They could be from the government sector.
Yeah, of course.
Yep.
Yeah.
And so funny is even the parents from the government, they don't want to have the kids educated in
No.
China.
No.
They want the child or
To have
the
a better
children.
international education.
Yeah.
I thought we were on the ground now, but I can see that we are still higher.
Yep, we're still in the mid-level. We are from the peak to the
Yeah.
mid-level here. And we are heading to the escalator system.
Yeah, because I saw the signs to the
Yep. Oh,
escalators.
you have a good observation, huh?
Yeah. Jag har faktiskt 11 800.
Jag har bara 50 stycken.
Jaha. Jag vet, något går ju alltid bakom, så jag vet inte hur mycket han gör för att runt och fixar och donar.
Okay, we crossed the road. So what I always tell the people, if you're living in the mid-level, most likely your house is facing not to the harbor front, Victoria Harbour, instead of you looking at adjacent people living around you, right? Even though you live in the top floor of the building, even though you're 30 story, 40 high story, at least you have to speaking over 20 story high. Otherwise, you will just see people right next to you. You see these buildings here? Careful. So consider this is on the mid-level now.
I think, yeah, so we still have almost half the way going down if we want to go to the harbor.
Right. On the flat land.
Yeah.
So if you're living here, you are suffering every day traffic.
Horrible right here.
Consider in the old time when there's not building at that taller,
Yeah.
just medium size like 10 story high. the population would be not like today.
Yeah.
So now is talking about not double, not triple, not quadruple, maybe 10 times more of the old population.
It's crazy.
Yes. So if people still living in the mid-level, I'm laughing. Okay, you live in mid-level, consider it's the rich people can able to live here. Good. This is a good sign. But on the other hand, you have suffering the traffic.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe if you live there higher,
Right.
you don't care about the traffic.
Well, usually they have a shuttle bus
Yeah.
to bring you back to the town. Okay, we're near the
Escalators.
escalator system. You can say this is the end or the start. And the history, again, when they built this system, they supposed to expect the people using this going back town. But I don't see only the tourists using it.
Yeah, because of all the tourists there.
Yeah. So the resident living here, they never use this one at all.
Så här längst upp på rulltrapp. This is the escalator top, right?
Well, this is just a miscalculation. The government expect people living here in this mid-level. Well, of course, they not only have one system, they plan more than one line. They have several along on this way to Kennedy City. So that allow the people in the mid-level, they can, from time to time, they not rely on the vehicle traffic. Instead of just by foot, walk back to the flatland, harborfront, whatever, and go back up here by the escalator. But that's fail. That's calculation
It's a
is
tourist
fail.
attraction.
Yes. Now it's tourist attraction. Yes. Yes.
Because
So-
we didn't go up here when we came because the last section we weren't allowed to go there.
Yeah.
So we
Okay.
turned around.
As you know, along on this,
Yeah.
you will see a lot of restaurants.
Yeah.
So we will pick up one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we just go for one because it's 2 o'clock now.
Right. It's
So I'm really
over lunch.
hungry.
It's tea time.
What time do people eat kind of lunch in Hong Kong? Is it different?
Around 12 to
Yeah.
2 o'clock.
Okay.
Depends on the company.
Yeah.
Usually it's 1 to 2.
Yeah.
But some company will allow from 12 to 1. Because if everybody have lunch at 1 to 2 o'clock,
It would be a
Yes.
disaster. It would be
Disaster.
No places in the restaurant.
right?
And dinner you eat?
Dinner will be so late for the usually people at home. They have to cook after work, so it would be probably like 8 or 9 o'clock instead of 5 or 6.
Yeah.
So that's why we used to have a late dinner. Yep.
Because we went out eating yesterday and it was 8:30 and there were a lot of people
Oh yeah, yeah.
in restaurants.
Yes.
And many people are picking up the takeaway.
And usually the restaurant they close after 10.
Yeah.
Chris, we would go that way. Yes, because we want to cross the road first.
Do you know all the streets here? You walk everywhere during the years here?
Well, because I will overlap the place from time to time. I have several videos making on this
Yeah.
system over the past 5-10 years.
Okay, so you know your way around.
Yeah,
here.
yeah. But sometimes I will get on the ground first
Yeah.
and not using this system. Very depends on. So mid-level is right next to the escalator system. So it's not a favorable, right?
I'm gonna go home and do it right now.
down here. So either go this way or going that way. There's some restaurant, I believe. So we can look one after one.
I think Maria, she's moved to food.
Yep.
There's one there? No, there's no.
Well, I would say one more street down there. No coffee.
That's coffee.
How about this one? This is not Chinese style anyway.
Oh, this was only coffee bakery.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need some.
And along this
lunch.
road here, yes.
Yeah.
Three-bedroom with roof. Oh, it's good. It's this roof in
You
it.
see, 12 million.
36 million, yes? This
Is
one.
this for rent?
That's for rent.
Yeah.
K, don't expect it's selling. It's rent.
Wow. Just for rent.
Yep.
You need a good job for this rent.
So either you're a professional of the professional in order to have a good salary. Otherwise, if you're speaking of even 20Ks, 30Ks monthly, you're not able to rent this one anyway.
You need two
Right.
people.
Yeah.
That's why they have these small door cabins.
Yep.
It's all a TV show, TV program about this.
Exactly.
Like 18 people in a small department, and you only have your bed and a locker. That's all they have.
A burger, sandwich.
Sounds really, really good. Grab and go outdoor terrace cafe, so you can go both.
Inside there.
Yeah, and the banh mi is really good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So let's have it. Yep. Because we need a place to sit down. Oh, you know what? I haven't been to this place. I mean this road. Is it this one here? Oops.
Yeah, fine. Very hungry. Yeah. I think it was the chili jam.
Yes, that made a difference. Yeah, the chili jam is great. We make everything fresh. The pate we make fresh. We cook every day.
Because I think the one I sriracha sauce.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that makes a different kind of taste.
Oh, thank you. Great stuff. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You please post it on Facebook for us, yeah?
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Not just only Facebook, I will have a video on YouTube.
Oh, you have a video on YouTube?
Yes.
You are a YouTuber?
Yes.
He's a famous
yes.
YouTuber from Hong Kong.
Yes.
You are a famous YouTuber?
Hong Kong.
Come here, come and say hello. Come and say hello. This is our team.
Ah, okay.
Hi. Em ơi, đến đây.
Đang xấu xí của chị.
No, không sao cả. Look, hi.
Hi, nice to meet this guy.
Come back for more by me, okay? Thank you for
Okay.
coming.
All right.
Now you can go for a free sandwich there.
Well, I don't take this advantage anyway.
No, but you should do that anyway. She's a nice woman as well. You can go there and see her. Have a
Well,
little chat.
in other mission,
Yeah.
I have a mission.
Okay.
Not just making money to myself, but I would like to help a way to get people know their own business,
Yeah.
such as a small restaurant,
Yeah. That
to a
just
Jewish
open,
shops, whatever. Yes.
Instead of the ones that people already know about.
Yes.
The places.
So small business to me is more meaningful to the
Yeah.
big
And
company.
you want to help them to survive.
Yes.
And if they're good enough, they will survive and people know about them. But people need to know about them for the start.
Right. Okay. How much for that?
43.3 million.
Yep. There you go. You see?
Nej, det var ju den där. Den hade kostat 48 miljoner och kostat 43.
Okay, we can rely on this system, escalator system,
Ja, vi ska väl gå till tunnelbanan, va?
or we can walk along on the road.
We can walk on
either
the
one.
road, maybe.
Okay, no problem. The difference is you have to wait for traffic. This one will be save your time all the way to MTR. We go that way and then walk back to the down level. Yes, they are horn to you. You're walking too
It
slow.
doesn't help. Everyone is standing in a queue. Så då kan vi ta det efteråt då.
Ja.
Där.
All right, so we will cross here, cross the road. There we go. instead of going this way, I go that way.
I see since the last times I've been here,
Right.
a lot of people start to smoke more. Before, it was most old people who smoked. Now, it's almost the young people, only the young people.
There's two happens. One, there's more teenager start smoking.
Yeah.
Secondly, you find a lot of ladies smoking too.
I think because the young people have more money, maybe now. They're smoking a lot.
There is an issue that the government tried to raise the tax for tobacco. Buying a pack of cigarettes is around $60 Hong Kong now. So once people say, oh, should be over $100. If you have $100 for a cigarette pack of cigarette, it would be a less people smoke. Hopefully that works.
Buy black
Yes.
cigarettes from China. I think that'll be alright.
Or from the black market. Could be. So I'm giving a wrong route instead of straight shortcut route to the MTR.
But this was very nice street.
But we walked here before.
Oh, you've been here already?
Yeah.
Oh,
exactly
okay.
the street we walked because it took the photos of the graffiti on the wall. So we already been there.
Oh, you recognize the place you've been?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I like to take photos of the street art.
Right. Okay, wait. Woo. Yes, going downward. Again, all buildings will be gone someday, pretty soon. Old buildings, pretty old, not old. So there's a controversial is whether keep the old buildings or demolish it.
Oh, very nice.
Right, like this one here, this is pretty old.
Yeah.
The typical old one. You took the picture here already?
No, not this one. Lisa took a lot of pictures of the graffiti on the wall.
Okay.
Not this one.
I haven't been to all the places yet.
You
For a new picture.
You still find new things.
Yes.
Oh, that's a good thing, because otherwise it's a little bit boring if you don't find new things.
Okay, keep going down. Oh, watch out. So this is pretty old building.
Såg du inte skylten de hade där, den är religiösa?
Nej.
Man säger att alkohol är människans
All right.
Den säger älskar dina fiender. Det tyckte jag var ganska bra, det var utanför en pub. Oj, har vi gått ner för idag? Eller är det första gången vi går lite ner?
Oh, first time we go down here.
Okay, good, good, good. So you explore a new street. You want to walk inside?
Walk inside?
A quick walk.
Like a tourist, you never go inside like this. Pier Park.
Yep. Middle in the city.
Now it feels like you're kind of in someone's backyard.
Yes.
And this was a nice painting.
And this is supposedly a historic place.
This is?
Yes. If you go
1895.
back to the history, 1895, there's something happened here. If I'm correctly, it's mostly related to the Dr. Shen Yassin. If not coming inside of this alley, you just go passing
Yeah,
by.
exactly.
Someone backyard. Going somewhere, I don't know where is this place about.
And they painted newly because it's really, really nice and fresh
Yep.
and white.
It's a very small house.
Oh, here it is.
Oh, there's a.
For the members of the Huyan Mangse.
Yep. This is people about the what's called the revolution in the early 19th century, because they refused the Qing dynasty. Go this way. Okay. One good example. The old building's gone.
Yeah.
Apparently. New buildings will be something like that later. Could be.
This is new, this one, yes?
Yes, you see it's brand new. Okay, so we'll be replace the old one like this one. Just look at right behind it. We can walk through it.
There is one like this we have
Right.
in Mong Kok. And we're going to do a park.
Yep.
We're going to do a park, you think?
And I believe the buildings would be something like this before. So it was something like that. Now it's just a construction site. Yep. So new and old is coming. We can go through here. It's different from what I walked last time anyway.
Yeah. It changes all the time.
Yes.
Next time it's going to be a different time. Yeah. No cars, okay. Parking kanske kolla lite, så är det lite lugnt här vid Pier. Innan vi åker hit
Innan vi åker.
till skyskrapan.
Ja, så för min del så känner jag inte att vi måste åka hem just nu. Alltså, vi har så
Ja.
Eller måste vi åka hem innan?
Nej, det behöver vi inte. Jag tänkte, kan vi göra det här?
All right.
Where is that park? This park is farther away. Is this called Hong Kong Park now? Victoria Park. maybe.
Hong Kong Park.
Hong Kong Park is this way.
This way.
Yes.
Victoria Harbour, Victoria Park is all this way
Okay.
in Causeway Bay.
It's not so far away from Star Ferry. You can walk. From
No, it's pretty far. By walk, if you take ferry from Tsim Sha Tsui to Wan Chai, you walk from Wan Chai Ferry Pier to Victoria Park. I would say 20 minutes to 25 minutes by walk.
So there's the Swedish office here.
All right.
Is it Victoria
Yes,
Park?
it's still there. Yes,
Okay.
yes, correct.
Because we have
You
some
want to
time.
buy something there?
No, we have some time, and this park is beautiful.
Yes.
But we also have Kowloon Park
Right.
on Nathan Road.
Right.
Very beautiful.
So you want to go now with you guys? No,
yeah.
I'm not going with you, but
No, but we said we don't go to the home.
right.
And so we wait for the when we go to the skyscraper. So
Okay.
we find somewhere it's really calm.
Right. So the best way is take the MTR to Causeway Bay.
yeah.
Okay.
Or maybe we go to the Kowloon Park, Nathan Road there. There's a park with a mosque behind the mosque.
Right. Kowloon Park, have you been there yet?
No.
Oh, okay.
There is some birds there.
Right, some birds. But they will close at 5 or 6 o'clock anyway. So by that time you will be a little bit late because they're not open 24 hours for the cage.
Yeah. We're going to be at the skyscraper at 8.
Yes, yes.
So we can go there before.
So you want to go back to Kowloon?
Alltså grejen är så här, att vi har ju tvätten. Om vi inte lämnar in den innan vi går dit, då kan vi packa upp den och lägga den i våra resväskor igen. Då hinner vi inte lämna in den när vi åker. Eller så måste vi åka hem. Alltså för min del spelar det ingen roll. Jag kan lägga tvätten i min resväska för jag har rena kläder i alla fall.
All right.
Så då packar vi bara upp den och lägger den i en slutspåse i vår väska.
Så då kan vi åka till Nathan Road och gå in i den här parken bakom moskén där. Ja, det finns ju närheten.
Nej, tror jag inte.
So you want to go to Kowloon now?
Yeah, we take the Team Side.
Okay.
I can't pronounce that name.
Chim Sa Joy. Chim Sa Joy. Whatever.
Yeah.
No problem.
So there is a park where we can take the relaxing.
You want to take a ferry over there or just MTR? Depends on you.
Yeah.
Då åker vi väl mot om vi ska åka, vad heter det nu, här på andra sidan va?
Ja, vi kan ju ta MTR också. Oh, they want the boat.
By ferry?
Yes, they want to start ferry.
Okay, let's walk to the ferry pier.
Ja.
So if you, all countries, okay, talk about this.
Right.
If you buy a beer in 7-Eleven, you can drink that in the park without getting caught of the police.
I'm not sure it would be allowed or not allowed for drinking beer in the public area. As I understand, it is less likely allow you to drink in the park. Even on the street, it's not allowed. Supposedly.
In Sweden, we have in Stockholm we have some parks.
Right.
But some you can drink.
So we
you
stop
don't
here
know.
because we will cross the road here, but it's traffic. So in public area, if you drink alcohol, supposedly in Hong Kong, well, the police would not come after you anyway. But if you make noise, if you misbehavior, they will come after you.
But I read about it because I got this special map from the walking tour and it says, it was like questions many people asked, are you allowed to drink alcohol outdoors? And it said, if you're over 18, you're allowed to drink
Yes,
alcohol.
yes.
But probably it's like in most places, if you're disturbing, you're not allowed.
Throwing the bottles,
Yeah.
holding cans away, making noise, people will complain,
Singing
call the
Swedish
police.
folk songs in the
Yes.
middle of the park,
Yeah.
dancing without clothes on the benches.
Yep.
Yeah, we won't do that. I'm really afraid of the Chinese police.
Oh.
So.
Anyway,
Yeah, so
I usually call this is the start of the escalator system.
Yeah.
When you're going up to the mid-level, this is what I'm usually called the start point,
Okay.
starting point.
Wow.
We didn't stop here. We didn't stop.
Yes. And you know the end point, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, from there.
We can go up and
Steps we've been walking today. 14,549 steps today.
There you go.
I feel it in my knees now that we've been walking down.
Right.
Yeah.
So we take the escalator.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, if you're going to mid-level, on your right.
Yeah.
Because we are going to take the ferry, we go to the left.
Right.
Used to be, this is seafront already.
This is a good thing how you have the traffic in different kind of levels. You have the cars, you have the pedestrians in different kind of levels.
Right.
I think that's really clever, so you don't need to wait for cross the road.
And
Like that.
central, we call this is a bridge system.
Yeah.
The bridge system was made in early 1980s when the government developed of this area. They have a architecture, if I'm right, it's a Japanese architecture. He designed a bridge, yes.
It's so nice because otherwise you need to go underground, like when you go through the metro and things like that.
Right.
It's much nicer to go on the bridges above everything.
So after this built in 1980s, many places is follow the same idea, doing this kind of bridge system. Because you are right, because you don't have to on the ground level.
And it's dark if you go.
Yes.
Everything's light and open.
But for the retail shops owner, they would say no, please
No, of
don't
course,
build a
because
bridge.
you will walk above them.
Right.
Yeah. There's always a problem. Instead, the shopping malls here are happy.
Right. So we are at the IFC, you know that? How many times you been here? Many times.
Not this time. We haven't been inside.
You don't like malls?
No, I hate shopping.
But anyway, we will have a quick walk.
Yeah. This is like going to any town, anywhere in the world.
Yes.
The same kind of shopping malls, the same kind of shops and everything.
Especially this is the upscale class shopping mall. And it will be cover most area in Hong Kong and coincide in the next 20 years with the upscale shopping mall. Anyway. The story behind is because of the developers. They will make it in upscale because they will only allow the rich people in town and get the poor people away of town. That's the main reason.
If you stand like this, it could be Stockholm.
Yeah.
Exactly the
I
same.
thought it was kind of any shopping mall in the world.
We have a mall called Mall of Scandinavia.
Right.
Same shop. We have Zara, we have Dior.
Is it all upscale product? Brand name shops?
Yeah.
LV, Bra.
Yes, everything is the same.
Okay.
Maybe not exactly like this, but we have
Maybe not
here.
Rolex and things like that.
Right. Yeah, Rolex,
We have Chanel. shop.
Giordano, Chanel, yes. And one
outside it's snow.
right.
In Sweden.
Yes. Christmas decoration. It's so early because it was the old time. The decoration for Christmas supposed to be after
1st December.
yes, near December or late November. Now you see the decoration already. The reason is they are welcome to mainlanders. Because in China they are not officially now, they are not allowed to celebrate the Christmas anymore. So they have to come to Hong Kong to celebrate or feel the celebration. So this is so bizarre that they have to come to Hong Kong for a celebration, whether they believe in Christian or not.
But don't they have any kind of Christmas decorations or anything like that in the mainland China?
Well, if my record that in the year of 2000, when I went back to China, there are some little Christmas decoration at that time. Recently, for the past 3 years or 4, the government say, oh, you have no way to have that celebration anymore.
Okay.
You are not worship or, yes, they stopped it because they say this is the westernized civilization or the westernized religion that should be not allowed in China. So they stop everything. So no Christmas, no Easter, so on.
The kind of Christmas is no longer about religion, it is about capitalism,
Yes.
buying things. So
Right.
you don't need to worship some kind of god or anything to be buying things. And I don't celebrate Christmas. My family we stopped a couple of years ago because it was just buying things to people, things that people already had, and buy new things. So we try not to buy things just for the sake of buying things.
Well, the government in China, they don't want the people going this way. They don't want to have the mindset in this westernized feeling.
No, of course.
Yes.
And they want you to adapt to that.
Apple
as
shop.
well.
You know that. Whatever. Okay, we just have a round trip here, a quick walk. So we'll go back to the ferry there. Suppose I can make a shortcut here, but make a walk through.
We wait for you here. Come back here?
What?
We go on?
No, we go to the ferry. Suppose we can walk, make a shortcut there to here. So I'm just make a half circle round. So we're going that, heading that way. Okay, you know, the old ferry supposed to be there.
Yeah?
You learned that? The old ferry, Star Ferry supposed to be there.
Yeah.
Now we move.
Yeah, it is
Extend.
told us because it was water here before.
Right, this is the harborfront, waterfront already.
So how many years ago?
Speaking of more than 10,
Okay.
I would say 15 to 17 years ago.
When we was here, 99, I think it was water here.
Yes, 99 is still water here, you're right.
But last time I was here.
Yes, land is here already, yes,
Then they're
exactly.
standing here and put
Yep.
clothes inside. So now it's When I come home, I try to find the picture because I take a picture just from this bridge.
Right.
When they put close here, because I'm gonna see how it looks when I come next time.
But you know what? Hong Kong Island itself do not have enough land.
No, I know.
So from the beginning of the British, when they come over to Hong Kong, they make the land.
Yeah.
So this is 1 phase, 2 phase, 3 phase, and 4 phase until now.
We saw when we go to Black Park, we saw this golf course there.
Yep.
This is the one they're gonna build. I read in the China Post
Right.
that there was a golf course.
Right.
They want to build a house there. Is it the one you see from?
No, not this one.
Okay.
It's in Funling where I live.
Okay.
Yes. They okay, put it this way. It's supposed to be $1 rent to the private sector to make a recreation area back in 100 years ago when the British government is no money enough to make all the recreation or the sport facility for the public. So they allow the people from the private sector to have this facility to build for the general public. But of course, not for the general at all, for the rich people anyway. Okay. So from time to time, they make a promotion of sport. So this is why the government rely on them, because I don't have the budget for a long run. But till now, the government has enough money. But this policy is keep going. You don't have to pay. This is not a beggar from Hong Kong. This is beggar from China. So now some people say you should return the land to the public so that we can build housing. So this is a fair game. Once you have to rely on the private sector, now you have to ask the private sector to give it the land back to the public. So, well, this is a controversial of either right or wrong. So it takes a while to discuss. But anyway, the point is the government do have a lot of land reserve that not using it. Instead, if you read the newspaper recently, the government wants to make a man-made island. It's crazy.
But if I read like China Daily, is it frugal, the truth, or is it news from the government?
Okay, South China Post, Morning Post, supposed to be a good newspaper, but it's sold to the a background of China, a company with a big background with the Chinese government. So more or less this would interfere to the ground of in the newspaper. So they no longer like the old South China Morning Post anymore. Right. Well, because this is the only English newspaper you can read. Ironically, in Hong Kong is even we have many different Chinese newspapers, none of them are talking the truth. Yes. Oh, you know what? The e-formula. From last 2 years, we have an e-formula, the electricity formula, raised in here.
Yes, I remember.
Right. But I don't know whether they would come here in December or not. Supposed to be November, but I don't see they coming for this year.
Down or this one?
Either one, up or down is fine.
Up or down? No, you decide.
You can go down if you like.
You go the same?
No, if you go down, you have to walk on this staircase. This is upper deck here.
You want to go down?
Yes, let's go down lower deck. Yep, octopus.
Home. Still 200 Hong Kong dollars on
in the
car.
Okay.
隨即回敬一球，使到斯卡斯塞勒納受三樽有
Up to you guys. Have a sit. I know you're so tired. We have sit down here.
I'm heaven. My legs are heaven now.
Even tired from yesterday.
Yeah, tired from yesterday and then walking today, walking the day before yesterday, and now we've been walking like crazy. It's almost, you know, when I go to sleep in the night, my legs continue to walk like this in the bed.
They're never gonna go with me on vacation again.
Got a nightmare, right? Walking, the hiking.
Next vacation is going to a beach somewhere, and I'm just going to the beach, and I'm going to do like this.
I think the total walk of this time is equal the whole year in Sweden.
But I usually walk around.
Yes, not for you, I know.
Like 10,000 steps a day.
Are you going to hike this winter? No more.
Oh, no, leaving.
Yes, we are leaving.
Go, go, go.
The best way is looking that way. When I was a kid, I remember when I'm riding the ferry from Jubilee St Central, it's speaking of 6, 7, or even 8 minutes long. Now it's in short 5 minutes.
So they go faster now.
Yes. Not faster, but because of the both
Yeah, it's
late
both,
is
yeah.
shorter. upper deck.
Yeah.
You can stand there and look at the harbourfront.
Oh. Is it open for everyone? Anyone?
Yep.
Oh, then we need to go to the mall, don't we? We went there on Friday evening.
But you haven't walked on the upper deck.
Yeah.
Am I right? We forgot to know there's a new place that even have a better wheel. Used to be the wheel only stand on that upper deck is the parking space. But now the new extension is further going this way. So at the end point you have to look at this direction. It's more beautiful than you look at from there. Because it's further out of the sea. So it's central of the sea. What you're saying is, so you look at the harbourfront, Victoria Harbour, it's different view from the past.
You don't need to do any kind of military duty or anything when your boys here. They need to go to some military duty.
No.
It's voluntary if they want to.
Not either. We are not allowed to go to the army.
No, you have the Chinese army. That's
Even though we are Chinese, unless we are migrate back to the China
okay.
to get their own citizenship.